This podcast has been brought to you by Snug Dubs Camper Van Hire.
Roam the world, park anywhere.
That's snugdubs.co.uk.
Welcome to the Cherrywood podcast with me, Rachel Burridge.
And the sexy Simon Burridge.
In your dreams. At the end of this one, we normally take a photo with our sign, say like, this is our guest this week, blah, blah. But then in between Hayden finishing last time...
Can you talk about this in a minute? I'm going to start. Is that all right? Fucking hell.
It's a lot, mate.
You can go if you want.
Oh, fuck
it's
you.
just you're going to go on forever, and I've pushed record on everything.
Oh, shit. This is prime time now, is it?
Basically, in between, he made me cry. He was cancelling me, and then I had to have my photo taken. So the one with Hayden, I'm crying my frigging eyes out.
That's hilarious.
Really?
Yeah. I knew it'd make her cry. She's got so many issues. Why would she be with me if she didn't have issues?
We've all got them. Big ones,
With
right?
you.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Right, you start off by picking up the clapperboard, going to the camera,
Yeah?
saying your name and the company.
Am I getting up?
Yeah. Well, unless you...
It's really awkward to
unless
kind of
you're
keep moving and carry on talking.
Unless you're Mr. Tickle, then, yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
Action!
Yeah, is that your name then, Action?
Oh! Where's my name? Cherrywood podcast guest, Paul Hills. Action!
Of what company?
Gray IT.
There we go. We got there eventually.
Jim, wasn't it?
Steve DiGiorgio took longer.
Oh, we had about 10 takes.
He just kept looking down it and laughing, didn't he?
He went,
As a step up.
yeah.
Yeah. Paul, lovely to see you, mate. My
too,
old mate. So, Paul from Gray IT. Do you want to tell us what Gray IT is?
Yeah. We're an IT company and we look after all sorts of people. So, from a business point of view, we look after Beryl with a single printer. It's always Beryl.
I've heard of Beryl so
And
many times.
I love Beryl, but we don't. Whey, there it goes.
All right, we didn't even get how long.
How long do you think that'll be before it falls off the wall?
I reckon it'll go quite soon, actually. Yeah.
30
If you can
seconds a
edit this, I'm going to
minute.
say in a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
And you still lost. Even if you say a couple of seconds, the woman was spot on. Was it her name? Jenny Lynchfield.
Jenny, yeah.
Spot on. To the second.
The thing is, I'd looked at a couple of these podcasts and I've started to see a kind of routine of, hang on, that thing don't stay on the wall. I thought I was going to get a little bit longer, though, in all
Yeah, I
fairness.
must
I
admit.
thought we were going to say to you, how long do you want? No, it didn't even make it to
We're
that.
running low on the old
Tape?
double-sided sticky tape. So I didn't add. I usually add a little bit of tape every
Really?
time. So.
Well, that's a bit unfair. If you had
Right, shall I? Look, you can carry on talking. I'll get some double-sided. I'll put it back up and we'll give them another go.
No one will
Okay.
ever,
you
no
tell me.
one will ever know.
That's Paul.
Okay, right, sorry, but before
Don't.
Simon interrupted you, you were saying Beryl.
Yeah, Beryl. Yeah, well, I love Beryl, but we don't survive on Beryls. That's kind of the giving back to the community kind of IT.
Yeah.
We, our kind of business is small to medium users, so kind of managing a company's IT infrastructure. So that can be anything from looking after their antivirus, all their hardware, be new kit. That could be doing all their licensing for Microsoft. Things like day-to-day troubleshooting. We do a lot with accountants, solicitors, that kind of thing. But because we've got quite a good track record with that, we've had lots of recommendations for that kind of industry. But IT's universal. I shrivel up and die when people say, "What do you do for a job?" I'm in IT. I'm that person now that I used to think. For years, I was an airline pilot at parties, but I just felt I've got to come clean and say, actually, I sit at a computer and I turn it off on and off again.
On and off.
And it get paid reasonably decent money, and 70% of the time, that's what fixes it.
Yeah.
So I've give it away now, and I just turn it off and on. Chances are it'll fix it.
I did say to Simon, are we allowed to tell him that you can just turn him off and on?
Yeah.
That's it. And he's like, yeah, I can take a piss out.
Absolutely. To be honest, I've only been in IT 4 years, so I'm from a customer knowledge point of view. I know what it's like to be on the other side when you've got something to do and you're stressed. There's a deadline, there's a timeline, and something.
Nothing's working.
Exactly. Yeah. So I deal a lot. For me, the IT side of it, technically, you're always learning. I've come into it quite late in life. It wasn't a direction that a path I chose. But I could say that about all the things I've done in my life. But I really enjoy dealing with people. I've always enjoyed jobs where I'm dealing directly with people, and it can be a little fix, but sometimes it can turn around. People recommend you, and for me, that's the reason. I kind of hate to say it, I genuinely enjoy it. I know we're being filmed, and not getting paid for that. It's not an endorsement. Gray IT, you'll never leave. Yeah. But I am. It come about strange kind of direction for me, because I was the opposite. Something doesn't work, I could do my own signature and stuff, but I'd always be, the big companies I work for, the IT people, they were quintessential IT people.
Oh, absolutely.
No career or no charisma. You ring up, no, I can't fix it. You've got to go second line and third line, and I could wait a week for a fix.
Drives me insane at work.
So we've kind of made our reputation on being human, being normal, and dealing with, all those problems are still those problems.
What, they employed you for that?
I know, weird, right? Well, the only reason I got in this job was that Graham is an old friend of mine. Right. And I actually was, well, I know you kind of know.
Don't go too deep. Quickly, give us a time.
Is it? That's new tape as well,
It's
right?
8:04. I'm going to go 8:07, 3 minutes.
Oh, he's even got a watch on to time.
8:07, 3 minutes time. All right.
3 minutes.
We go 3 minutes from...
Now.
Yeah, all right.
Bosh. Is there a prize? Is it all the salami?
Prize is, if you're the nearest, which you're not going to be, but good luck.
Okay.
That's very
we give
negative.
100, unless you're spot on. This woman was 1 second out. I keep saying this woman. That's terrible.
Come on.
Sorry, Jenny.
Seriously.
Jenny Lynchfield was 1 second out.
We
One
were
second.
literally talking about it, and she said, I think
She's got
it's gonna be
DeLorean or
this.
something like that.
Yeah.
And she's doing well, because her name is getting mentioned every podcast so far, so she's doing really well from it.
What was her name?
Jenny Lynchfield. Celebrant.
Well done, Jenny. Jenny.
Well
done, Jenny.
Lovely lady.
Yeah,
really
1
lovely.
second. It's a bit worrying, isn't it?
Yeah.
She knows the time when it's all, you're going to go south,
off,
yeah?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. without
I've
doubt.
already got your epitaph ready. I know when it's happening.
Right,
So
okay.
you, going back to your conversation,
Carry
so
on.
you must have to sort of almost roll with the technology as it goes. So you have to adapt your learning on sort of like
Adapt. Got to in my 50s and I learned how to adapt. My mum would be so proud of me, to be honest. It's our job, a lot of it's reactive, because we're only dealing with a problem when someone tells us about it. And, a lot of that's, so the success of Gray IT, I mean, it's only been going 5 years now. But Graham, the owner, has been in IT for, I've got to say it a bit of pun, he's been in it for 28 years so far, because we hear that every day. Been doing this for 28 years. And it's one of those jobs that every day is different. You can say it about a lot of jobs, right? The people you deal with. And there are people that I've made genuinely good. When they ring up, you recognise the number, and it's like, oh, all right, Lisa, how you doing? Oh, I'm really sorry. People that pay us to look after them, and they're like, I'm really sorry, I've got this problem again. I like that.
Yeah.
I like people treat you as a person,
Absolutely.
so I find it easy to deal with. We all deal with arseholes, don't we? We've got a few of those on the books.
I love the way you glanced at me when you said that.
I did, didn't I? I don't know.
We all deal with
know.
arseholes, don't we?
I don't know if that was am I allowed to say arseholes?
Oh,
or
that
you
was
were
exactly
looking-
what it was.
Was it a more
Or was it?
Simon's an
Or was
arsehole?
it?
Yeah.
Look, you know Hayden. We had Hayden on.
Oh, my God.
And he needed permission to swear, and then the old swearing. And then I started swearing, so...
So,
no, actually,
you're all right.
You started his podcast in Australian. All right, mate.
right,
Fair
mate.
dinkum.
Right, mate.
I was like, oh,
Fair
God.
dinkum.
Wonga.
And I didn't even do it on purpose.
I know.
Just started talking.
He is my second favourite Australian after Pat Cash.
Pat Cash.
Yeah, I know.
Pat Cash.
Pat
Got a
Cash.
story about Pat Cash, haven't we?
Have you? I wasn't even born, so it's not
Come
really
on.
my story.
Come
That
on,
was
don't
the
say
day
that.
you were born. Pat Cash won Wimbledon the day
No.
she was born.
God, talk about make me feel weird. My knees are even more now.
Exactly. Yeah. Pat Cash
Jesus.
won Wimbledon.
Wow. I can't say that anymore, because it's just going to make me feel really bad about how quick my life's gone flashing before my very eyes.
And we could get back to Gray IT stuff, but you've been in Australia, haven't you? You've lived there, haven't you?
Yeah, I did, yeah. We, do you want me to tell you that story
Go from the beginning, mate, from when you
Really?
came
Go
out.
for the
of old-
beginning.
So I was
Whack.
born.
Yeah. No, do you know what? It's a lot of people, I know it's like a lot of business that a lot of people kind of, you kind of, get to a certain age, I've got to earn a certain amount of money, I want a car, I want the out, the quintessential trappings that come with success. But even as a young kid, the only thing I ever knew for certain is that I wanted to experience life rather than have things. Don't get me wrong, you kind of go through life needing money to live don't matter what you do, right? Unless you're selling coconuts on a beach and you're living in a grass up, your weekly income can be down a little bit. But I was fascinated with. I kind of always wanted to be somewhere else rather than where I was, even as a kid.
Where were you from? Where were you originally born?
Up the road, Strood. My mum was Flemish, so
really?
I've got a big family. Yeah, so I was born in Chatham. And then we moved to Strood, and I loved it. I loved growing up in the 70s. You know, everyone was your aunts and uncles. Doors were, I'm going a bit old school Cockney now.
What was your mum's maiden name, if you don't mind?
Pets. Yeah, so so she was from a little place called Ghent, which was lovely. A family all cyclists and football players and ice cream parlours. That's what Belgium reminded me of. And I fell in love, and I had a really close kind of family, but obviously, Belgium, English, they all spoke English. And my biggest regret, never learning to speak Flemish. But they speak better English than most of us, to be honest.
They do. I know a few Flemish people.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So, mum and dad working class, always away. So I was always terrorised. I had a younger sister at home. I had quite a big family, but they were all a little bit older. So I had a sister that was a year younger than me. And, my kind of... getting through life was a lot about wanting to be anywhere else. So I kind of jumped in movies and comic books as a little kid and always wanted to be somewhere. And I remember mum bringing home a world map, and I was blown away by it. And I rolled it out, didn't even have a corkboard then. And I realised putting pins through plasterboard or kind of plaster it, it's fine all the time that's up there, all those pins. About 6 years later, I got a whack round the head for all the places I wanted to go in the world. So that was my kind of driving ambition to go to these places where I'd been, half a dozen slaps to the back of the head for ruining a wall that mum painted. So that was it. So my goal was to get a job, start earning, and as soon as I had enough money, go travelling. And that's what I did. And I was lucky enough to meet, my wife now. We've been together, Jackie, 30 odd years.
Wow. And what country were you in when you met her?
I was in the country of Strood. Just up the road. Yeah, she lived in is there a posh part of Strood? Can we say that? Not far from where you live. Up
Reed Court Road.
That's
area.
it. Just up there. Yeah. I know some Ruffins, It's all changed now, isn't it? But when I lived in Carnation Road, and it was. That was, I loved it. But if you didn't live there, you wouldn't walk down the road because it was very territorial. And, we met. Ironically, I was at school with her sister. I couldn't stand. I still don't like her. No. But we hit it off straight away. And she was very much career orientated, retail, doing really well. So, we got to a stage in our lives where we're both doing all right, but we feel like we're bored, got the house, got the car. A bit like, say, what do I do next?
It's what society wants of you.
Yeah, exactly. My mum and dad you're living together.
Yeah.
Are you going to get married? No, don't want to get married. I was a black sheep in the family, All my brothers and sisters, you know what it is. Get a job, meet someone.
Get a house.
Get married. Have kids.
Yep.
Animals. Holiday a year. And I'm like, on paper... It's great. Lovely. Yeah, I'm not knocking it, but it was a complete opposite of what I was about. And the more my family expected that, the more I kind of rebelled against it.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, right, what kind of job can I do? Because my dad was, an earth mover, big heavy plant, digging holes, driving lorries. My oldest brother went into it, you're going to come and do that, or be an electrician or a builder. I'm like, I want to do something with my art.
Yeah.
And, I want to dance. And no, that's a lie. But I always wanted to kind of go to places like mountains. And so I learnt to ski on the dry slope, Chatham, got a job. And then I got a job as a technician, got qualified. And I went and done a season in Austria.
Wow.
In Kitzbühel. And I was 16, literally just got qualified. Went there and done a season. My dad took me to got picked up on a coach, first time away on my own. And he took me on a Mark IV Cortina, and 4 months later when I come back, he had a brand new Skoda, and I'm thinking, I'm staying on the coach. I'm not getting off.
They were embarrassing, the old Skodas.
Classic Skoda, 120 LSE, the one with all the wheelbarrow jokes,
Yeah, definitely.
And you realise I come back and I had all these amazing, I thought I'd grown up a lot, and you realise 2 days back, and it was like, everything just the same. It's just the same.
You've
so it
just
made
slipped
me,
back into
yeah,
routine
exactly.
again.
That greyness of like, you know, day to day.
Yeah.
So that kind of drove me to do something different. I don't know what it was, but it was like, right, okay, I've got a qualification. Where can that lend me to go? So yeah, I literally wanted to go to art college. But
you good artist, though, do you think?
you know, I've done a lot as a kid. It was, again, escapism, you know.
Was it comic-y type?
Yeah. I was always into kind of drawing as a whole, and, you know, and it was one of those things I won't say found easy, but I done well at it at school. And my art teacher, and, you know, you've got a talent here, but, you know, that classic like, hard work beats talent every day. Well, I kind of went down and I'm pretty good at this. I'll wing it, and done all right, got decent qualifications. I think, well, where am I going to, you know.
How are you going to take this?
Yeah. So I kind of thought, oh, hold on. I can go to college, I can learn jewellery design. You know, there's money in jewellery, right? And my dad got ill. He had a stroke, had a heart attack. And, you know, he was only a couple of years younger than I am now. And he was this presence in bed for years, you know, or like ill. And so I had to go out and get what I call a proper job. And I got a job, you know, in a warehouse, and then, you know, tubes and fittings and valves, and the polar opposite of everything I wanted to do in my life. You know, it was like a high vis, you know, everyone calling each other names every day, and I was a young lad, so it's like, you know.
The amazing thing about this is I know your dad's still going, isn't he?
Yeah. The irony, there's a silver lining. He's 96 now, still as sharp as a button. He's kind of like part robot now. You know, he looks like Spock. He's got like bits of ears missing, bits of eyelids missing. It's like something out of Hellboy. You know what I mean? Like
Surprised you haven't drawn him.
He kind of works by clockwork. You know, he's had digits removed, and you know we've got him a really cool wheelchair, like one of these ones,
like George McFly one. Is he hanging upside down?
Honestly, yeah, he amazes me because I can still talk to him and he'll tell me what's what.
Yeah,
you know, even though his body doesn't do what he wants to do, mentally, he'll talk to me about stuff that happened 60, 70 years ago.
Wow.
And I'm at that age now where I listen.
Yeah.
I say now, a few years now.
Yeah.
But I kind of appreciated having the time with my dad, which, you know, when you're younger, it was about I always got on well with my parents, but I wanted to go away.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then sorry.
It's the escape. All right, they're telling me what to do. I don't want to listen to them or their authority, so I want to just leave, right?
You go for a stage of thinking they ain't got a clue what they're talking about.
Absolutely.
Everyone does.
Absolutely.
And then you realise
and then you come all the way around. Like, and
they know what they're talking about.
And the truth of it is, you can't, it's that old classic, isn't it? You can't put an old head on young shoulders. You know, no one's going to tell you. You're going to go out and do it. You're going to make mistakes. And my parents were good enough to let me go and do it. Well, I was at that age then when I could do. But it was that real kind of rebellion. I've always had this, F you. You've told me I can't do that. Now I want to do it. Now I want to do it.
That pushes you and spurs you on even more.
That's probably been the biggest driving factor in my life is that I didn't consciously do it, but I never tried to. I don't know what following protocol is, you know, but that whole, you know, job,
society,
house, you know, marriage, cars, success, get a pension. You know, when people talk about wealth management, I kind of shrivel up a little bit because my wealth was in experiences. And if I could do it differently again, truthfully, I don't think I would.
That's good then.
Because like people I've met, places I've been, and the kind of experience that I never would have had the opportunity to get.
Absolutely.
Biggest thing for me is that I've got I call her, we've been married 10 years, but I still struggle calling her my wife because we were together for so long and she's my partner.
So how long have you been together?
30 odd years. Yeah. And do you know what? It's a bit of a gushy thing to say. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here now. She kind of held me up when things were tough, you know what I mean? When you go through life and you find that, you know, sometimes the silver lining gets a bit burnished, I guess. And like all of a sudden, like you've got to live a real life. And I was always running away from the norm. So yeah, great. You know, that whole cortisol thing about the next buzz. So I had this real thing about every year I had to do something I've never done before. That could be jumping out of a plane for might have been my 30th. Jackie bought me a skydive, but it was one of those, you learn to do it, not a tandem.
Oh my God, you had to do it on your own.
Yeah. And I fell in love with it. And I like in 1 year, I'd done something like 75 jumps. And I'd go and do them in my lunch hour because I was working near Headcorn. So I learned to pack my own shoe, and it got to a point where it's going back a few years, obviously, but I could jump for a tenner. So it got to the point where it was like this. I've got that whole thing about the buzz,
a little bit addictive, and
and like that.
Any close shaves with it?
Not myself, but I've been around some
Bad ones.
Yeah, fatalities. Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
yeah. I was. I kind of learned it's as safe as it can be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As in like the drills you go through, the learning, the checking of all your equipment, like you would in most sports, right? But I think the emphasis on, you've got to know what you're doing, and panic.
You're jumping out of a plane at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, everything about doing that is the opposite of what reality tells you, right?
Yeah.
Well, you're in a plane, you're generally staying into it lands, right? Let's go up as high as we can. We'll launch yourselves out with a bit of curtain above us.
It's the sitting on the edge. How do you get that? Right, I'm sitting on the edge. How do you get that? I've got to now jump. I just don't think I would have to.
Do you know what? It's that you'd be stupid if you said you weren't scared, you're a fool.
Yeah.
Because that being scared keeps you alert.
That's what's making you set the bag up.
Absolutely.
Properly.
And the first jump, like I'm like this for everything though. I've learned with there's about 20 different people, all different ages, size, weights, creeds, and I learned with a guy called Chris Rhodes, who was the brother of
Gary
Rhodes, the famous chef.
We know him reasonably well, actually.
Yeah.
Rachel's aunt went out with him.
Yeah,
Really?
They lived next to each other when they were growing up.
Wow.
Because he used to go to like the Howard School.
Yeah.
And she went to the girls' school next door, and they were really good friends. Lived next door to each other. Dated, I think, for a few years. Whoa.
Well, I'm not winning anything here, am I? Let's be honest.
Hang about. It's on its way, and there it goes.
Oh my God, I'm way out. That's not even a wooden spoon, is it?
No.
It lasted longer than you said, didn't it?
I think about
You
4
said 3
times.
minutes, didn't you?
Yeah.
I don't know what the time is.
8:07, I think you said in the end.
Yeah, so it's about 10 minutes, something like that.
Oh, well. Shit happens.
Useless, isn't it? I'm going home. There's no prizes here. Booby prize.
We got you
As much salami as I can eat.
You're the first person we've got food for and alcohol, and I've eaten it constantly since you've been
Really?
talking. I thought, I'm going to use this tomorrow.
You're literally talking and looking.
talking and looking.
Is it quite delicate?
I'm going to be playing that video back, and I realise why I'm so obese because I'm just constantly glancing at it, going, "Oh yeah, I will have another bit of cheese."
But it's that whole, going back to our conversation, it's that sitting on the edge and actually being able to throw yourself off and have, because obviously if you're in a tandem, someone else does it for you. You don't have to worry about that. So you know it's going to happen. But when you're sitting on the edge, you're like, oh, can I go? Can I go? No, I can't go yet. Can I go? And almost verging off, but you just have to throw yourself out, I'm assuming.
It's a cliche to say it's the best feeling in the world. Everything in your body's telling you not to do it, and yet you overcome it and do it. Fighting your fears. And I've
massive adrenaline rush.
I've always excelled at that kind of thing. Like nobody wanted to be first. I'm like, I was, and I sat in the door on the way up, and this thing at Headcorn, it's called an Islander. It's a twin prop plane.
Yeah.
You're sitting there with the door open. And this thing would bank, and it's going up and up, about 14,000 feet. And then it's getting cold. It takes a while to get up there. And it would bank quite a lot over. And a couple of times I panicked, thinking, I'm going to fall out. And you have that realisation, I'm going to throw myself in at me. What's the worst thing that can happen? I go before I'm ready. Exactly. I'm ready, as I'm going to be, about anyone that falls out of a plane. And it was that kind of real buzz, but the problem is you keep chasing it, and then it's where do you go? How far do you go?
So was there a point when you thought I'm not going to do this anymore?
Yeah, I was learning to start doing the old, the kind of skydiving where you're in shape and you literally lay on almost like a tea tray.
Formation skydiving.
Yeah, so you'd kind of you'd learn literally on the floor and almost like, one of those trays that had wheels on. So you're on the floor. We'd learn in the car park spinning each other around, giving it all of that. And because it was the norm now, it's like looking back now, you think, okay, we must have looked like right nuts. But at some point it was a weekend, can't remember, it was a lovely, clear day, lots of jumps going on. A guy's super experienced, done hundreds and hundreds of jumps. His chute failed and his reserve failed and he hit the ground. He was... And it was...
do you know him quite well?
No. I mean, there was a lot of people used to come there from all over. It was a good place and still is a good place, but I've not been there for years. And it was a first realisation that, hang on, this
is dangerous.
I know it's crazy to think. I wasn't a kid at that age, but I was very much...
you get a bit blasé over it. You get a bit comfortable.
And I was
you?
packing my own chute then, and I remember Jackie, even though she bought me this, she got me into it. I know I said I really want to do something different, and it was that realisation that when that happened, that look, you know, what else do you want to achieve out of it? And I was like, well, nothing. I was just following that buzz. That's all it was. I was going to jump as high as I could. You know, I mean, you jump out of a plane in Edcorn, you jump out of a plane in Florida. It's the same thing. Yeah. So I pretty much give up overnight. And it's one of those sports that is amazing. And I'd say to anyone, if you feel like you're missing out in life, jump out of a plane. That'll put some perspective back in your life for you, especially if, you know, you walk away from it, in all fairness.
So is there a pattern where the missus has always suggested you do death-defying stuff?
Well, I've got no life insurance, so it can't be for personal gain, in all fairness. You know, when you've been together so long, and she knows me better than probably I know myself.
Right, yeah.
And she knows what I enjoy, and, you know, we always enjoy travelling together. And Jackie's quite a diminutive figure, quite small, blonde hair. You know, she looks comfortable. You think working reception in solicitors. There's a whole lot of it as her as a person. If it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't have gone to a lot of the places in the world that I wanted to go. We learned to dive together.
Wow. Dived
all around the world. And to be able to do something completely on a level with my wife was the best feeling in the world, because you know, we've skied, we've snowboarded together, but there's that physicality, because I've done a lot of those things over the years. I know it's hard to look at me now, this model fitness specimen, but I used to kind of look after myself. So we'd go away, and of course I'd want to do, you know, 100 runs a day, and you know, Jackie's not, fitness for her is like, you know, two ends of very different scales. But I taught her how to snowboard, and it was like me giving back a little bit. But as patients go, you should never teach any of your family or siblings
because you have
anything.
No patience for your family or
siblings. No. And I was quite hard on her as well, you know, because I knew she's quite stubborn. She'd be very much like, no, you shouldn't do this. And I'd know that I'd like fire under her backside, like, oh, I'm going to do this and stuff like that. So yeah, we've done a lot of things that so
a little bit like how you were with your parents. That's how she is sometimes with you.
she's got two sisters, one older and one younger. I do a younger sister, Nick, I love immensely, you know, kind of see her grow up kind of thing. But Jackie's the opposite of her two sisters. She's got this soft exterior. She's gets on with anybody, the nicest person. But if you wrong her or you upset her, she's got the toughest inside. She's like, you know, one of those chocolate toffees that's been in the fridge? Yeah. You bite down, you're breaking a tooth. But like, you know you'll enjoy it if you let it warm up a bit. That's terrible. She's going to look back at this and thinking, I'm like a fucking chocolate. And it's kind of kept me kind of on my feet over the years, because if I've ever asked for advice, she's never given me what I wanted to hear. She's always told me what she believes is the right thing. And yeah, I'm blessed to be here because of her, really. And it's I didn't think I'd say that so early on. What's that, 20 odd minutes or something like that? And cut.
Getting deep now.
And cut. Yeah.
Blimey, you might as well quit while you're ahead, mate. So who taught you to snowboard? Because I learned to snowboard, but I've never been a skateboarder.
Okay.
And if you know,
you need to both then?
If you're a skateboarder, you can master snowboarding a lot quicker.
I kind of grew up on a BMX, so like kid from the 70s.
Same here.
I never had any decent clothes because I ripped the arse out of them, the knees. I was always up at the Medway Hospital with, you know, my exactly. My knees and elbows are permanently discoloured from the
exactly same. You know, my nickname as a kid was Wurzel because I had holes in my clothes.
Exactly, yeah, I know. And I kind of grew up quite young. My dad was into real motorbikes, and because my mum and dad had got together, they both had families before and then got together quite late in life. So me and my younger sister come along when my brothers and sisters were already kind of late teens.
Yeah. Oh, right, so you got step brothers and sisters. Yeah. Oh, right,
but I grew up with them until I knew what that dynamic was. I've never, or even to this day, you know, we don't talk about being step brothers and sisters. No. We're brothers and sisters.
Well, it's not a step, it's half, isn't it?
Yeah. Half, well, whatever it is, you know.
No, we had this conversation the other day.
It's half brothers. It's half brothers.
Yeah.
She kept saying step. It's not, it's half. Now I'm saying step.
Yeah, because obviously they were all my mum's side.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I am, and they were, you know, well, all doing their own things, you know. So I kind of grew up having to, I say fend for myself, but, you know, it was like making traps and, you know, putting bits of string between two trees to hopefully trip someone up. You know, the you know, the real harmful stuff you done as a kid.
Similar stuff.
Yeah. But there was, you know, I don't want to go down I'm glad I wasn't, ironically, about when the internet first started and had a childhood where you
Stuck
learn
on screens.
Exactly. You learn as you went along, you know, it's all kind of learned in the playground or your mates, you know, and I'm thankful for it, really.
And like
I'd hate to be a parent now. I mean, I don't have any kids of my own, and I think because I never truly grew up. You know what I mean? The things that I like when I was a kid, I still like now.
Yeah.
It's just my body takes longer to recover.
You know, I'm a parent, but I still haven't grown up either. So.
I have 3
It's reassuring. There's more of us out there because as I've got older, you know, you're in a room full of networking people, and I quite often have these thoughts. I wonder what you really like.
Yeah.
And I quite like. It's very hard to have discussions like that when you're at a kind of a
serious
business luncheon.
network, yeah.
You know, you think, how do I steer the conversation down a route of tell us your favourite superhero.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to buy some computers? You know, they don't work together.
What's
do
your
they?
favourite colour?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, we do a network together, and I can't take it. You know, I love it, and I see the value in it, but I'm too much of a kid for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just like having a laugh, but having a laugh warms people up, doesn't it? That's what I like about it.
Well, the one thing I learned years and years ago, and as a kind of voice to be in good stead, is treat people how you'd like to be treated. My mum and dad, and it was like I don't think I was ever told that, but it was the way that I was brought up, and it was like, you know, if you do bad to someone, you're going to get it back, and it'll be your own fault.
Absolutely.
And it's the one thing that I learned, I felt was instilled in me from a really early age. If you want to do well, people got to think good of you, and you do that by behaving yourself and learning and mind. You know, everyone that was older than me are always respectful. And it stood me in good stead, you know. But on the flip side, I can be the other way. If someone's a bit rude, I can be like, right, you're done, mate. I'm nothing to do with you. And I've kind of always been like that. It doesn't matter what I've done, you know. And yeah, I'm quite blessed that I had that kind of, I'm sad it kicked into me. It was kind of, you know, that whole cliche as a kid, you know, you can't get off the table till you've finished. I'm going to have pudding on one day a week. You're only having that if you've eaten your sprouts.
Yeah.
So I kind of, learnt by, having to bend a little bit, to be honest. And that's kind of stood me in good stead for kind of how I've been with people. It doesn't matter, work colleagues, you know, people up the food chain, below her. You know, I'm quite comfortable dealing with people kind of higher up the management chain or people below. And I don't know if it's a strength, but it's something that just was obvious to me.
So working in IT, you must get shouted at quite often.
No, do you know what? Not as much. You know, it's one of those things. A lot of time I'm on the phone with people, and you have these. There are certain individuals I'd like to meet you face to face and just see what you're really like. Yeah, and those kind of things kind of keep me level because I don't take personal. I can do.
Yeah.
You know, if someone gets personal, you know, that's different, but that's very rare.
Yeah.
Most of our clients, you know, we built relationships up with, and they know us. You know, they know what we do, and it's very respectful. You know, this has gone wrong again. Don't worry, let me log on. And it's a really relaxed, genuinely, most of the time relaxed. But if someone that you usually deal with is not their usual self, you can usually tell, hang on, I've got to get this job done.
Yeah.
Mm.
They need their computer. They're under a lot of pressure.
They're stressed out.
And you kind of, I kind of mirror.
Gauge it.
Gauge 'em out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It needs to be done this way. We need to get it done. It's prioritising, isn't it? And you know, we're a big fan of you know, the people that pay more money. We tend to look after more than people that we do ad hoc for. But you know, I treat everyone the same. You know, if someone's on the phone, you know, doesn't matter if it's Beryl again with a printer. I always pick up on Beryl, don't I?
Always Beryl.
I think everyone
Is
can
there a
relate to
barrel?
Beryl.
Have you ever had a barrel?
Beryl
Or is
died.
this just a... Are you serious?
No.
Got an electric
There
shock.
is a
Got an
Beryl,
electric
but
shock from a
this
PC.
Beryl I talk about is kind of, it could be Beryl, it could be
Fictitious.
Diane, it could be Dave.
Dave.
You know, yeah, that's right. Oh, there's a few Daves. We love Dave, yeah. But they're all, you know, most people we deal with, even some of our new clients, you know, when I meet them, it makes a big difference to be able to meet them face to face. So I try to get round and see as many as I can because I think it changes the dynamic of some, you know, of dealing with people if you can relate to someone.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not going to be everyone's best mate, but a lot of people have got some generally good relationships out of it, and it can only stand us in good stead as we move forward, really. And you're always going to lose some clients to, businesses change, other people struggle. And, we've had a bit of that this year with a couple of long-standing clients, but there were valid reasons for that, to move on. Whereas we're always looking for new people, and it's quite nice getting the opportunity to get into different industries as well. So
they've got some goals set, have they, Gray IT?
I'm going to find out what those goals are. Yeah, Graham won't mind me saying, he's got a 4.5 litre V8 big BMW that I had the pleasure of seeing how fast it went when we done a job, one of our new clients down on the south coast on Friday. And, he's coming up to replacing his car and he's talking Porsches. And I was thinking, my Mini's just failed its MOT on emissions. Come on, spread the love a little bit. Spread the love. I'm out here promoting Gray IT,
And then you're like,
No, do you know what? I've the only reason I'm in IT is because I had such a good relationship with Graham. We were mates. We've known each other about 30 years. Everyone I've known is about 30 years. And I don't know anyone from my childhood. That's the only thing. And I was in the fitness industry. I know. It's obvious, right?
I thought that straight away. I've been checking you out from the moment we started talking.
I just thought you were a bit uncomfortable.
No,
gas. All that salami. It's all that salami.
Well, there's something making me uncomfortable in my pants.
oh, no.
It's only a joke. It's only a joke, viewers. Sorry.
Now it should fall off. That's the time to fall off, isn't it? Yeah.
Sorry.
And well, I kind of go back to this whole not having kids, but I do admire, this is a bit of a strange thing, but I admire kids that know what they want to do when they're older, like a plan. Jackie's older sister, Julie, her oldest boy, Charlie, I say old, I think he's 12 or 13 now, wants to be an actor, a dancer. He's learning piano and he's had some parts in some movies.
Wow.
He's on stage, and you know what? The lad's going to do it. He's got this such drive at that age, and I was like, wow. And I'm a little bit, jealous of people that had that, because I kind of floated around in the wind and think, I wanted to do things I liked.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be in the ski industry, and as soon as I see a snowboard, it was in the snowboard industry. That allowed me to travel, that kind of thing. Get to a certain age, think, hang on, it's a lifestyle. I'm not earning much money from that. Need to get a proper job. So I got into sales. And again, I found it relatively easy because I found it easy to talk to people. And all of a sudden you start earning money, and I had my Sierra Sapphire GLS company car with the big, that big heavy-weight mobile phone.
Now we're talking.
I used to drive around pointing out that's a car aerial stuck on the back of my Sierra. And we're going back a bit now. And I was kind of went through that stage of thinking I wanted money. All of a sudden, I had to wear a shirt and tie. And
because you had a little bit of it.
And it all come quite quickly as well. I was only in my kind of like early mid-20s. And Jackie was doing well. She was working at Harrods and got in a management program, so she went through all the retail kind of stuff. And we got to about 28, 29. I'm like, I'm done with this. It's just, I feel like I'm on that hamster wheel.
Yeah.
And I've kind of like these last 4 years, we'd have a lovely holiday. We had we had cars, we had a nice house for youngsters. I was like, it's just not making me happy. I'm bored of it. And literally she come home one night, she'd had a real tough night, and I was like, we've been talking about travelling. She went like, let's do it. She literally pulled the rope, and it was like from that chat to actually getting on a plane, we'd sold our house, sold everything we ever owned. We kept a piece of original art. We had an old Habitat iron bedstead, a chair, and my comic books. I kept all my comic books because I'd had them.
What ones did you collect?
Oh my God! I collected a lot of the.
I'm sorry, I'm really good at drifting people off the story.
No, that's great. No,
let's just take a sidestep for a bit.
That's right. I'm not like Billy Connolly. The chances of me coming back to the same place.
I'm the world's worst one to remind you to go back either. So that's probably the end of the travelling story.
I kind of loved anything. So I was in I wasn't really the superhero kind of person, but I did like Batman. I like that dark brooding bit of seriousness, and like elves and wizards and warlocks and all that kind of stuff, I didn't run around like batting people with like a foam axe or I wasn't into that.
I have the ears.
But I did, exactly. It's kind of trendy now, right? Done it then, you get nailed, wouldn't you? You think, hang, lock up, But I just, that whole kind of they were my kind of escape from the real world. I could read them, and I had, I don't know what it was. I never wanted most things in my life I'm happy to get rid of because it didn't mean anything. But I don't know, when I first started working and I had money, I started buying these first editions, and, they were pound notes. They weren't a lot, but they were a big part of like things I'd wanted, and I'd earned them, and now I'm going to keep them. And it was quite bizarre. I had a nice big cool leather chair, a piece of artwork that me and Jackie loved, a Hawaiian artist that we've still got on our wall. Our first bed, Stead. We didn't keep the mattress, obviously. That can go. Always buy a new mattress. And then, these comics. And then my good friend Matt, who built our house that we're in now, he was doing all right, and he had a big house and said, "Can you look after these bit for us?" And then, we went up to Trail Finders up in London. We thought we'd sit down with someone, have a discussion, right? What do we want to do? We want to go and see the world, right? There's the first thing. I went back to being that kid and that world map, and I could still see the pins.
Yeah.
So how old are you at this sort of point now?
About 30.
About 30, 29, 30. Yeah, kind of like, a lot of the people we'd met travelling were, out of university. And we decided, we thought we were only going to meet people that were at the other end, people starting out.
Yeah.
But I'll talk about that in a bit. But it was the other way. A lot of people that were burnt out with, high-powered careers. We met surgeons and solicitors and lawyers, and they'd had enough. They'd earned all this money, yet they'd had exhausted, relationship breakups. So they'd like buy a ticket and then go and try and find themselves again. And, I was doing jigsaws with people from all over the world at 2:00 in the morning, drinking loads of beer, finding out about people, and you kind of think, I can relate to that story, even though we live halfway around the world from you. You're a surgeon. Exactly, And all of a sudden it was about wanting to enjoy life and live it. And it was like, it reaffirmed, how you you don't do it for other people, but it made me feel a bit better thinking, hang on a minute, you're not odd.
Yeah.
There are plenty of other people that feel exactly like you do. So, kind of going back to the start of it, so we went to Trail. I come back. It was like seamless, wasn't it?
Beautiful.
I don't even need to edit any of this.
I've actually thought I don't edit anyway because it's funnier like that. Look, unless there's something dodgy, someone said I need that taken out.
I got rid of my copy of Mein Kampf.
I'm not going to lie.
Couldn't take it on the plane.
I'm not going to lie. You came back into it like 4 minutes ago.
Did I?
It did, didn't they?
I have no idea.
You're not talking about comic books, are you? So you're back into.
Okay, yeah.
You went back to the bed.
So me and Jack, we've had this chat. She's like, I'm literally burnt out with my job. I was getting to the point where I'd be in a shirt and tie. I'd go to find a cinema. I'd go to the cinema in the afternoon just to be in the dark.
Yeah.
Just to not want to go back to the office. And Jack was working up in London and, kind of like crazy hours and, kind of all of the holidays she was busy. So we never had any time off together. And it got to a point where we're like, we both want to do this now. Because I'd spoke about it, we must do it. But, you kind of think
there was always the dream.
That. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then when she said about that, literally we spoke about it. Within 2 weeks, we've got the train up to London, gone into a Trail Finders, and we've come out with our itinerary. We paid for our tickets. We put our house on the market. And I think we were gone within 4 to 6 weeks.
Wow.
Every week I was doing boot fairs, selling
getting rid
stuff.
of everything.
Oh, it was great. And every sale we done, this might sound odd, borrowing my dad's little car. My mum would come and help me.
Oh.
And we had all these clothes. Well, he was selling clothes. And then when you could sell a CD and you get £2 for it, not like a penny now.
Oh, yeah, it's a nightmare.
And we'd done about 3 or 4 of these boot fairs over a few weekends. And it was like the happiest I'd ever been, truthfully, was the day that pretty much all we had left was Jackie had a little Peugeot GTI and we were taking it, I think it was 2 days before our flights due. Look, we've really got to get rid of this. We sold that for cash and literally, apart from the clothes we had in our backpacks and those few little bits I'd left at my mate's, we were ready to go. And I'd never felt so light and free. It was like we had our tickets and we got this ticket. It was called the Great Escapade. Never get it right. This makes me feel quite old now. It cost us £1,000 and it was flights with Virgin, Air New Zealand and Singapore Airlines. And I had something like 18 flights and we could change any flight that we wanted to do.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think I had a couple of internal flights now. I reckon I had about 18 to 20 flights on £1,000 and we went right round the world.
So you literally had all these flights, and you could say, right, let's go here.
So
now, let's go
Any
here.
date on these tickets? Is that how it works?
It was from the date you use it. It was kind of like I don't know if it's a couple of years.
Oh, right.
And it was a full flexible ticket for £1,000.
Wow.
It was less than 1,100 quid. I remember it. And like, I don't think you could get a return to Florida for 1,100
no,
quid now,
that's
could you?
ridiculous.
Go back.
No.
So the whole ticket for everywhere
yeah.
was £1,000.
Yeah, it was one of these.
So, for me, it looks like there's just flights on it, and then you book them as you go.
Yeah, so what we did was like we had an itinerary of places we wanted to go in the world. So I was pretty good at geography even as a kid because I was always fascinated with the planet. So I kind of knew a lot of places without a doubt that I was going to go. So we were I want to go the opposite way to everyone else. Everyone flies to Australia.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to go to California.
Yeah.
We're going to go to LA and do all of the, all of the stuff. Like a lot of the movies I've seen, right, I want to go and see that place.
Yeah.
Now, the things that everybody's seen, right? And, we'd only been, we'd literally left. My dad was really, I can talk about him because we've already know cat's out of bag. He's still alive, the old sod.
Sorry, I didn't realise he was using that as the crescendo of the
I know, I was going to say, does he survive to the end, But I'll never forget, we got our tickets and like we booked the first one. So we were flying from Gatwick to LA. And I'll never forget, the only time in my life, 50 odd years, I see my dad cry. He didn't come up to the airport because he was, bedbound. But I remember him ringing me at the thing and he was like, it was one time when you can, that still sticks in my throat thinking about it.
Yeah.
Sound like, I'm proud of you, boy. Go and see the world, and and it really was like my dad was welling up, and it was like unbelievable. I had to give my phone to mum. Mum's crying her eyes out, and like a couple of brothers and sisters come up with British flag. Yeah, we're in. This is how stupid it is. We're at Gatwick. We're not coming back. We're just leaving. Yeah, know what to say. Like, okay, yeah, everyone knows we're British here. We don't stand out from the crowd here. But we got on this plane. It was an Air New Zealand flight. I'll never forget it. And Lord of the Rings had just come out, and they had all of these Lord of the Rings themed planes, and we was on Frodo Baggins, and it just set us. As soon as we were on the plane, it was like, this is it. This is the real shit. We're now doing it. And the only thing we had planned was from LA. We didn't know how long we were going to be there because everything's flexible, but we knew we were going to do all of the Pacific Islands, Hawaii, Tahiti, Cook Islands, Fiji. Yeah. So we got to. We always like to try and book a place. We booked this. Try and be as rustic as we could, and it was like Hollywood Boulevard, the Walk of Fame, where everyone goes. You walk 2 minutes up the road.
Oh, we've been there. We've been there.
Yeah. So it's like I was chatting to guys that were living on the underpass, and the sofa looked like I'd been there for 40 years. Oh. Never had any bother.
No.
But we stayed in this kind of old hotel. It looked like something out of a noir movie. You know what I mean? It's like they had a big perspex screen. Like it's good to know that you can't spit at the receptionist. And of course, we turn up like still pale looking tourists with everything was
really
everything
eager.
was trekking kind of metal shoes, like a couple of dorks, But like don't put anything away of valuables and that. And there was an old boy sitting there, like literally with his coffee, like because they used to rent these rooms out to people that live there full time. So it was a real part of what Americana. And we kind of before we got to this place, so we hired this like little minibus thing that would take about half a dozen, and all these other places. Like, I know where that is. We said where we were going. He was like, "Where's that?" Like at the end of, I've never heard of it. And of course, we think, "Oh, hang on, we've ballsed up here." This guy that does this for a living doesn't know where we're staying. And he dropped us off at this place, and I was like, "Oh shit!" But it was great.
Was it one of those you're both standing there looking up, going, "Oh"?
Yeah. We were exhausted. We were tired, and you kind of think, "What do we do?" And it was like.
But that's the best thing.
Do you know what? Looking back, it's the best experience. Waking up to the woo-woos and gunshots, and you're thinking, welcome to America. And we had the greatest time. So we just kind of, when we were there, it's like, right, okay, we had Lonely Planets. What I'd do, I'd buy one, read up on play, like it is, and then right, we're going to go and do certain things. So we've done all of the. Went to a all man's Chinese theatre where they do all those famous like Star Wars
blokes all dressed up.
That's it. We've done all that, and then we went down to where were we? One of the where was it? Old Arnie was the governor. Venice Beach, the Muscle Beach.
Yeah.
We'd gone down there. It was quite a way. And we see these...
It's California government.
California, that was it. Yeah. And we've gone down to the beach, and I think it was our third day we were there. And when, it's almost
Long
like,
Beach. Or?
That's it. Yeah, huge. No, not Long Beach.
No,
Venice.
We've done it?
Yeah,
Venice.
we've
Done it. I don't remember.
And it was like really cool. A lot of artists and stuff like that. So right, we're going to go chill.
It's on Grand Theft Auto if you want to see it.
Yeah. And actually, we've met most of those people in Venice. There's some really cool artwork. I thought, well, we can't buy the artwork because we're going to be away. Yeah,
that's the thing, isn't it?
There was this old dear doing this artwork. I never forget. It was like really cool, kind of abstract. And in the corner of every one, it said "fuck Arnold Schwarzenegger." And I was like, "Wow, this is a political statement, isn't it?" And it was like, typical old dear grey braids, and I was like, "Wow, we've landed here." And then you open your eyes a little bit, and then all of a sudden you see people staggering around because they're out their heads on some kind of substance, and we're like, "We'll walk along the beach. It'll be right along there, And we'd sat on this beach. We'd probably sat there for 10 minutes looking like, where should we go? We'd go and get a drink or something like that. And this kind of truck pulls up, pulling a dead body out of the water. And you kind of think, we should have given LA a miss. We'd been there 3 days. We'd seen homeless people.
Gunshots.
And we kind of felt, well, it's the only time in my life I kept a diary. And my mate bought me this thing. And it
Did you
looked
have a camera and stuff as well?
Yes. Yeah, and I had a little
decent one. Or?
No. I mean, it weren't like I have got.
I love the way you're looking around to see if we got anything decent in it.
Nothing.
Yeah. I had actually, I say that it was like a Sony compact with a different.
Right.
It was pretty reasonable.
One of those little silver ones.
That's right. It had a different wide angle lens that you could screw on, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it was quite compact. Little SSDs cards.
Yeah.
So, but I think it was about 20 megabytes.
Just when sort of digital started coming out.
Yeah. And I always wanted a digital SLR, but I'd done a photography course, but it was film, and I loved that whole kind of doing.
Done all that.
Yeah.
I did it once at school.
Yeah.
That's it.
I went to college just something off my own back. I went. I want to learn to. I love art, and I thought never really been into cameras, and I thought, well, I want to get myself a little. It was a little Nikon
Sony.
No, it was a Nikon.
Oh, he said Sony just.
No, it was the one I took. No, that was the one I took.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, you want about the film camera?
Yeah.
Start listening.
I know. It was like digital was just starting to be talked about, but it was, way out the realms of consumer prices at that point. And I really wanted to do a bit of darkroom stuff. And
Love the dark.
Yeah. And I did. I went on a few holidays before we went travelling, and the camera I started thinking I wanted to take, like, I was into mountain biking, and I thought it was all action stuff. The camera just wasn't that good. And I got into like kind of candid portrait stuff, and I just started shoving my camera in because I was quite brazen. Oh, mate, how are you? Like, click before they had an opportunity. And I really liked it. And like a lot of stuff, I didn't know what it was going to be like until you
developed it.
Yeah. And I love black and white, and I thought, this is what I want to do. There was an element of wanting to do that, and a couple of weeks later, it was on to the next thing. What am I going to do now? But yeah, I wish I'd had a quality camera when I travelled. I mean, if I'd had an iPhone 12 or whatever, the what I would have documented then would have been unbelievable. But we had to keep getting everything taken off their Steve, burnt onto CDs, and I'd send them home. And I've not looked at stuff like that for years, but I should really look at it. But yeah.
I loved the dark room. I loved being in the dark room and having to sort of develop your own pictures, and like you said, not knowing how they're going to turn out, and anyone that walked in, you're like, shut that door, you've now ruined everything, and all the papers out, and just sort of sitting there and developing it in, and then put it in the next tray and developing it more. I loved that.
I know, it was a bit like alchemy to me. And it was like, I loved being in this room where it was just you. I'm not, I don't know, it sound a bit weird. Like, I like being in dark rooms, but I'm not bothered on my own.
I think he wants us to leave, right?
Just with a load of count. Turn the lights off as you go, I'm all right. As long as someone will wash my hands, I'll be fine, But and it was something that I wanted to go on. And then when digital got a little bit more mainstream, I got a Canon, one of the EOS 5Ds or something, with the motor wind on it, and I got back into like sports stuff. And I managed to, most of it was mates doing mountain biking, stuff like that. But a friend of mine was quite serious into his go-karting. So I went down to take some pictures of Buckmore. And I actually met, for life of me, his name's going out, Formula One world champion. His son was in it.
Mansell?
No, Damon Hill.
All right.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I was taking photographs of mate, but I was taking pictures of everyone. I just wanted to get cool shots, and he seen me taking pictures, and he gave me his details. Like, you know, if you get any of my son, would you be kind enough to send to me? I'll pay you for them. So I said, you don't have to pay me, Damon. I didn't forget. That's how it sounded in my head. Thinking, yes, Mr. Hill. Okay. But yeah, I took straight away. I think 90% of the shots I took were of his son.
Yeah, just like following him around then.
Get me in Monaco, please. But that was it. That was the start and end of my kind of sport career, because I just, it was it's time, right? Yeah, and there was too many other things to do. But I can't remember time frame. That was after I come back from travelling, because I wish that's when I got into photography, because I wish I'd done more when I was out.
I'm trying to pin the date down when you went travelling. So if it was at the start of Lord of the Rings, what are we looking, 2000?
Yeah. Well, actually, it was just after, because they'd already filmed all three of them. Oh, right. Yeah. And because I bought a book in New Zealand, and
these are two. We shouldn't have bought these. These are too Moorish.
I'm going to have one.
Mate,
I've not
so
had one.
nice. Do you want another beer as well? I'll top you up.
Okay.
That'd be lovely. Thank you. Oh, God damn, I didn't think they were chocolate.
No, they're good, aren't they?
I thought they were those kind of things.
They're chocolate.
They're lovely.
I know. Shouldn't have got them.
Thanks, sir. I'm getting a strange, people watching this won't get this, but it's this real healthy kind of ale, chocolate, salami twinge. I feel like I'm in a gastro pub without the queues. It's novel. Thank you.
I'm trying not to do product placement, babe. I'm trying to hide what we're drinking.
What I will say is very nice.
And it's from a farm of a decent car.
Yeah. And, do they still do it? I've never...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's a good watch, actually.
Yeah?
The Clarkson's farm.
Oh, you give it away now.
I'm not getting paid. Doesn't matter.
No.
But it's a good watch, that Clarkson's farm.
Yeah, I've watched... I got into that quite late.
Yeah.
Because Graham and James in the office are both in it. We've got like a big 65-inch TV on the wall that we're supposed to be monitoring the infrastructure of the building we're in, because we look after that. That's right. That's it. That's my IT tech talk out of the way. And every time it kind of goes out, we Oi.
Oh, hello.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Joking.
Oh.
It's all right. I didn't go over an electric.
Is that all right? That's a bit fruity.
Oh, my God. I'm so... You don't want to top it up anyway. It's a different one. This one's the deals. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness. I'm absolutely saturated.
Look at
I
that.
would take my jeans off, but I'm purposely not wearing any pants.
Oh, no. Why are you not wearing pants?
I don't know. I just thought, I've only got a couple of hours of pole and I'm going to get home.
That's right. How messy can it get, right?
It's 8 p.m. Why am I going to waste?
We're in Strood. Nothing untoward can possibly happen.
Yeah, I'm not going to waste another pair of pants at 8 p.m.
Well, I'll let you into a little secret, because I got here a little bit earlier, and I was looking at all of your images on the door. I didn't realise it was kind of like a living door. And when the boudoir shots started turning up, I realised there's a queue of traffic behind me. I'm a bloke in the dark, and I'm staring at these boudoir shots. That's why I went and done another loop, waiting for you, because I thought, hang on a minute, where does this door go?
I don't know if you're listening, Gemma, but there's some perv bloke watching you.
They were very good shots.
Thank you.
The light, we say photography is all about the light, right? And the lighting's great.
And it's in here. All shot in here.
Really?
Yeah, you're literally where you've been drawing over at. She was basically there.
That foaming up of that beer was nothing to do with me. I've not handled anything.
Oh, blimey, that went all over me. I'm absolutely soaked.
I'm impressed that you managed to get all of your expensive equipment, or you moved it away like a parent and a child.
And a child,
right?
yeah.
That's what it was.
I'm impressed how I didn't lose my shit when I realised it was filming. I was like, what the?
And anyone who isn't actually watching this, you haven't actually explained.
Well, I think they've worked out. I've opened a bottle of one of these.
Yes.
One of these famous.
It's very
drinks.
lively. I will.
You opening another one? I've got it here. I've got half this.
Oh
one.
shit! Sorry, I didn't realise there was anything.
There's some left. There is some left.
Sorry.
I don't know what sent that one away. It must be the pills in it.
Yeah, it's got
the pills.
The pills,
like as in like Holston pills, that sort of thing. I'm not put pills in it. I'm not trying to drug pull for after.
That is don't drink and drive, kids.
Blimey.
Thank you.
So you're very
Still
sticky
getting
now.
over it. Mm.
Lovely. So I've got a question for you. Where's the best place that you travelled to then?
Yeah, I'll ask that.
No, you
what
weren't.
country or
Yeah.
place?
Oh,
New Zealand was a place we really, really thought we might not come back from.
Wow.
And the only reason we left was because my dad was very ill.
Oh.
Because at that point, he'd been ill for quite a few years. But, you know, I kind of thought we probably will come back kind of early.
Aw.
But New Zealand blew it away for me. It was just the lack of people. The you know,
I like that though. on
it's not
holiday
that I
when
don't
you
like people. Let me stress this out. But you know, it's a country about the size of England with about 1/10 of the population.
Wow.
And once you get out of Auckland or you know Christchurch,
Yeah.
there's even less.
There's not as many dodgy animals as Australia either, is there?
None. No, you'd
No
be pretty
spiders,
nothing. You'd be pretty unfortunate
I
to
like
be.
the idea of that.
Yeah. New Zealand blew me
Should we
away.
emigrate to New Zealand?
What?
You could get out there as a business and health anyone in healthcare easy.
Oh, Paul, don't say that.
It blew me away. I genuinely, I mean, probably the healthiest I'd ever been as well because all we had was time. So we bought I bought a car. I had an old Toyota Corolla. I think I paid about $800 for it. And literally out there, it was really, you have like a tax thing, and that was it. So we needed. Went to post office. I drove that from the North Island all around the South Island. We got it stuck in snow chains in places, and I sold it for more money than I bought it for, literally, when we were leaving.
It gets cold there.
Yeah.
I thought it was like level with Australia.
No. If you look, it's quite a bit further down.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
They can have proper winters. Yeah, I mean,
It's a little
you've seen
bit
Lord of the Rings, haven't you?
Yeah.
You know
Yeah, I have, but I didn't think, I know they shot it in New Zealand, but I didn't think they based it on like the whole climate of New Zealand.
Yeah, for sure. It's stunning. Yeah, the Southern Alps, as they call them, that run all the way down.
I've seen the start. The start is a snowy mountain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's all in there. And it blew me away. I mean, I obviously at that point, I'd done years and years on the mountain. So, we'd ended up in Queenstown at a place called the Remarkables. And you can see why it got its name. It's like you stand there. It's a famous shot in Lord of the Rings. And we'd gone and I literally bought a book that showed you all these locations, and we spent months just going to these places.
Wow.
So we'd walk for hours, and you get there and you'd be like, wow, this is it. We're in Isengard or whatever.
Yeah.
And it took us to places that we would never have seen. Abandoned gold mines up mountains. We'd climb into the snow line, and Jackie was there step by step, and we have got some. I've got some shots I can look at. Looking back, where I'm standing on like a sinkhole, giving it the beans, and she's petrified, and it's like the largest sinkhole in the southern hemisphere, and you think, no, I'll just take another step back. It looked really good. I could have been standing next to a brick wall. It's the camera's not pointing down in this huge hole.
Yeah.
But the mountains and these are places were incredible, and
We've got to go there, H.
got
to go there.
Yeah, I there's not many places in the world I've been. I've loved everywhere I've been from a culture point of view, from a first experience. But New Zealand, when I left, I generally teared up. I felt like I'd left a bit of myself there. And
would you go back? Would you consider moving out there? if you could?
I wouldn't consider moving now because I think I'm a little bit different than I was then. I don't tend to run away anymore, whereas then it was like I'm where I need to be.
Yeah.
But it's a bit different when you're traveling because everything's an adventure.
Yeah.
I think when you live somewhere, you then have the pressures of work, the tax,
exactly,
cost of living, as its pluses and minuses.
We've always said this. Like, I've always loved the idea of living in Canada. I've got family in Canada.
Yeah.
And
We said
that.
San Diego. We
San Diego, but then
not been there.
The thing is, you're making these decisions, not making actual decisions, but you're thinking about this when you're in a holiday environment.
Yeah.
It's yin and yang.
not
You're
life.
relaxed.
It's not life.
No. And I'll be honest with you, I've kind of started to appreciate this country more. Like we went and done I'd done a bit of cycling around Wales, and then me and Jackie a few years back went up to Edinburgh, and then we just rented a car and went around the Highlands. I thought, wow, there's places here. I felt like I was in New Zealand again. How it looked.
I've never been to Scotland.
Really?
I've been all over the world. Never been to Scotland.
This country's got some. I mean, the Lake District.
I love the Lake District.
Yeah.
We took Ted because I had Ted in the June, and we said, look, we're not going to go on holiday with a brand new baby. So we went up to the Lake District, didn't we? And we spent a week up
Loved
there,
it.
and literally we were doing mountain waterfalls, and he just came with us, strapped him in one of those little carry things, and he just came with us.
You look like one of those couples, did you? You know, one of those urban kind of hippie couples, yeah. Yeah, we've just left our kind of London studio to see what it's like in the real world, yeah.
Well, we did.
We had a 360 camera. We just had that out while I was walking, didn't we? Yeah, it was a good laugh.
Oh.
Yeah, the Lake District for me blew me away because it felt, again, like New Zealand, this kind of raw, kind of natural, the world. And you think, God, what have we got on our doorstep?
North Wales, beautiful.
Yeah,
absolutely beautiful.
Even when we go down to Devon.
I love that reminds me of my childhood.
Devon.
Yeah, Devon and Cornwall. My mum and dad would have a little caravan. It would be an adventure. It'd take us all day to get there, and you know, the cars that my dad had. But the coastal walks and me and Jack, a few years ago, wasn't in a good place, and we booked this little place. It was in the winter, and it was like the food for the soul.
Yeah.
Just like there was no tourism there. It was cold, but these walks were just the best. And you'd find a little cafe
or a little pub with a fire.
Yeah. Do you know, thinking like, I live here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I wouldn't want to be it was a bit of an epiphany moment. I spent most of my life wanting to be somewhere else.
You don't realise how beautiful our own country is.
Yeah. It's like when I was in, actually New Zealand, but more Australia. The amount of Australians that have never been anywhere. 'Cause let's be honest, that country's like a continent. It's like...
When we went there, it took us 5 hours from going from... Where did we go? Brisbane?
So, yeah, we flew over Perth, I imagine, did we? That sort of area, top left corner.
We literally cut the corner off like that. So we were going
and
up
that was
to
5
Singapore.
hours just travelling over their country.
Just to get out of Australia.
Australia was never on my list to I must go, but Jackie wanted to go the whole diving, and like, of course we're going to go there.
Yeah.
And it was the people that made it for Australia. We bought a van out there, and it was all sprayed up like these wicked campers, they called them. And first one we had, it was called the Jubblies, because it had like if you can imagine, like just a camper, you know, like a Volkswagen size. And it was almost like that part of the female anatomy across one side. Now, on one side, it was a blonde
tits
person.
For anyone that can't see.
But the bra, they was wearing like a bikini.
Yeah.
It had the Aussie flag. But I didn't know this at the time, being, you know, a typical naive travelling Brit. On the other side, it was like a more tan skin and a different, but I didn't realise it was the punchline wasn't a punchline, Aboriginal flag.
Oh.
And we ended up going, obviously we got this van and we ended up going in the middle, right round Australia. We've done about 48,000 kilometres in it.
Wow.
So we went right round the coast, everywhere, right up the middle. And there were places that we weren't welcome because it was offensive.
Yeah.
And we, obviously, you know, when do you find out? When you're in somewhere that gets offended. And we was in a place going up towards Darwin, so right up in the Northern Territories. And we literally stopped just to get some fuel. And there was a lot of Aboriginal people, you know, and there's a lot of systemic racism in Australia. Like it was in New Zealand with Maoris. I know it's not controversial. You know, there's a lot of people still feel they're paying for past kind of like terrible stuff that was done to Indigenous people, you know. Sounded quite serious for a second, didn't it?
No,
but anyway,
you can't blame them,
no,
can you?
absolutely
You know what I mean?
not. And I stopped somewhere literally and there was his family. And next thing we were getting all stuff thrown at us. And and someone we'd met an Aussie guy that had pointed out that would be quite offensive to people. And like we bought this off a company that was renting them out to people. So we kind of did clean the van up a little bit. We never had any other problems anywhere else. And but it was one of those learnings that kind of know what you're going into.
Yeah.
You know, we thought we were kind of, I was almost 30. Look at that, I've got a sprayed up van. They must think, I'm a good surfer, and like, he had bikes on the back and surfboards on the top. And yet it was offensive to people. So, but that was a microsecond of it was all positive. And Australia for me, it was like going from New Zealand, going to Australia, and we was on the flight. So we flew out of Christchurch.
What is the flight time between them? Is it a few hours?
Yeah, no, it's a chunk of time. It's quite a long way.
I imagine it's a good 6-7 hours.
Yeah, easy. Yeah, because we flew from Christchurch to Cairns, so we're right up in the north. Yeah, so we'd gone from being quite chilly to coming into a tropical environment, and I'd had long hair and a big beard, and because we doing a lot of walking, and I had that whole wild man thing going on. And And I think within 48 hours of being there, I'd gone to a barber's and shaved my hair off and shaved my beard off. And yeah, it was like I had these strange kind of white bits where like, yeah. But I think the thing I took from Australia was just we met some unbelievable people. There's a lot of people doing what you do, you know, traveling, and you kind of think, how big is it? We bump into people we'd met 1,000 miles away. Because, you know, it's not like over here where you can go in all directions. There's a coast route.
It's a big place, but there's only certain routes you want to be taking.
Yeah, exactly. Not many people go through the middle. Not many people go through the middle. Not many people kind of go, you know, it's like
the middle's pretty much orange, isn't it? It's literally orange sand. Orange sand.
There's some beautiful places, but you have to drive days and days and days to get there.
Yeah.
And we you know, typical, you know, we had water and you do due diligence and do what you need to do. But I changed vans at one point and I had a slightly older van. And start motor was a bit iffy on it. I thought, that's all right, I just whack it with something, keep it going. And we were going up through the middle. And I remember driving a whole day and I hadn't seen anyone.
Wow.
You know, you're starting to thinking, I don't want to stop.
Yeah.
We stopped at this place that it's like, even in Australia, there's a bar that's, you know, makes its money, but they see UFOs. They had this big flying saucer outside, like Area 51, right?
Yeah.
You know, you've got to take this picture of little alien and stuff like that. And we stopped outside of a place called Cooper Pedy. I don't know if you've heard, it's famous for opal mining. It's where they filmed all the
Opal hunters.
Mad Max. That's that environment. And we stopped by this famous sign. I say sign, it's like a van with Coopedia on the sign, about a mile out of town. The van broke down. No. Anyway, I've like, don't know what to do, you know, no signal. Is that a classic? Brits on tour. We're proper F now.
So you did like the in-betweeners, basically. The second.
So did you have water and everything to last?
Oh, yeah.
How long could you have lasted for?
Oh, weeks.
Right. Okay.
But I was by the sign. We weren't that far. I said to Jack, right, you're going to stay here. You lock the van. You stay with the van. Because it was like a dusty little lay-by. And I'm going to walk into town. And I did. I walked into town and went up to, like they call them, they're not off-lights, bowl shops, the office, And I'll never forget it. There was these two really old dears, Aboriginal women, beating the shit out of each other. As I got there, the guy's pulling down the shutter saying, I'm shutting. And I'm like, mate, is there anywhere, is there anyone that can come and tow us? Like, mate, I know someone, literally. Okay, so he got in his van, took us back out, proper old wide brim out. I thought, I'm going to get stabbed in the back here. I shouldn't have watched Wolf Creek. It's all coming back now. And Jackie, we got back there. It was only in the van. It was probably 5 minutes. There's a Japanese tourist coach has pulled up. It's taking pictures of the van next to the sign, and she shut the curtains because it was quite nice. It was very Aboriginal art and stuff over it. It was very different from our other one. And I said, why didn't you get out and tell them to sod off like that? You know, she went, I got that embarrassed. I just shut the curtains.
In the back going,
this guy's turned up proper truck tow bar, proper kind of old, looked like something out of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Amazed the truck's still going.
Exactly, yeah.
He's driving Mater, basically.
One of those kind of, one of those wicked campers. And he literally hooks it up and pulls it off, dust everywhere. And like, he got it fixed the next day, changed starter motor for us. And we just stayed at a campsite. You know, we had all tents and stuff like that. And it was. I
bet he hardly wanted anything for doing.
Do you know what? I think probably about $70. Yeah. What was that? But it was probably about 30 quid in that. I mean, it was about 3-1 at that time. Like the English pound was still worth something. Strong, you know, it was like proud to be British when you've got pound
we haven't
notes.
Diluted it as much.
No. I mean, now it's like, you know, like for like. But they're the kind of moments that we remember. Yeah. Like we've been in the middle of places with no one, and then we had this guy turn up, and there was a New Zealand guy, a German guy, and an Irish guy. Travis sounds like a joke, doesn't it? Yeah. And they were next to us, and this guy, all he was smoking. God knows where he got all this weed from. I think his backpack was covered in weed, and he had like a little DVD player with a screen, you know, kind of.
Oh, like
then it was quite cutting edge, yeah. And the only film he had was Life of Brian.
Oh,
really?
And it was like he was playing this over and over again, and I knew that film really well. And like we just got every time it come out, I say like that halibut's good enough for Jehovah. And we struck up a bit of a friendship. And we was at this place, and it was up on right in the Northern Territories, middle of nowhere. We ended up staying there for 3 weeks.
Wow.
Just because of the company. We'd go fishing. We could light a fire on the beach because there's no one there. You know, a few miles, there was a shop and get that. And we met a couple of Aussie girls that had a classic Volkswagen camper, an old bay window, not split screen. And they were the first time they were been friends for years, travelling together. So they were down from Melbourne, and we ended up meeting them in different places, and we ended up staying with them in a year later when we got back to
tough life, isn't it,
mate? Yeah. But it was I digress. Anyway, there's lots of those stories, but for me it was about the people we met.
Yeah,
and
definitely. Most
of the travelling we did, there were some beautiful places, but the best memories are when we shared them with other people. I admire people that can go travelling on their own, because it's like, wow, you know, to go and do it on your own is something, but like to go and share it and be able to talk to someone about it. Do you remember when we done that?
Yeah,
I probably spoke more about it tonight than I have in 20 years, to be honest.
Oh, we're going down memory lane.
I tell you what, if I can break this bottle of beer, we'll get out of here earlier.
Just shake it up and just
shake the next one, mate.
Crack.
Hopefully hope for the gear this time. We do it all over the gear.
I'm so sorry, Paul.
No, it's brilliant. What was I going to say to you? I wish I could have done it, but I had kids too young. I had kids at 20. So that was game over then, you know.
I met quite a lot of people that were travelling with their kids, and I thought, how the hell do you do that? You know what I mean? There was a lot of I was like, the education.
It's the same as Glastonbury, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'd love to take the kids to Glastonbury.
Big cans on your shoulders.
Yeah.
I've always admired, I think they are cool parents.
Yeah.
When I see that, I'm thinking, that's a bold move.
Yeah.
Because I've never been to Glastonbury.
I've always wanted to go.
Always
never.
wanted to go.
I've done loads of festivals and Glastonbury, but I felt like I wouldn't want to do it now because the whole, kind of, it's a little bit
it's kind of commercialised now.
Yeah.
I think that's an understatement, isn't it?
Oh, mate.
See that? It's like a town now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Built up in a place. But
I still would do it, but every year wears off a little bit for me. You know?
Yeah, those, I was talking about my knees earlier. I
think I'd glamp it. If I could, I'd glamp it. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't slum it.
I had a client that done that. And she was, she kind of found herself again. She lost loads of weight, started running, started living life. Funny enough, she's English, but she lived in Australia for years. And her husband, unfortunately, died of leukemia.
Right.
And then she'd been kind of on her own for a couple of years and decided to join the gym and get herself fit. And it was like, not just physically, mentally, how she changed. She started doing things and realising that she had a life to lead. And she went glamping. And because she had a bit of money, and I was like, what? I didn't even know what glamping was. And I was like, you stay in this teepee and someone serves you breakfast. I went, what? How's that real? What she didn't tell me is that I could have gone to America for a month for the cost of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
But it was impressive.
It's a hotel in a campsite, basically. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
there's certain levels of glamping. You could either take your camper van with you to Glastonbury, couldn't you?
Yeah.
I think I went glamping in Africa. We did this whole sort of tour of Africa. You did the whole safari thing, everything like that. And that we said to them, because my sister was only 10 at the time, we said, we don't want tents, we want hotels. We've got a little girl with us, we want her to be safe. And there were so many people, because it was school holidays, there were so many people in our tour. They said, we're going to have to break you up. And they said, unfortunately, you're in tents. And we were like, what the hell? We said no tents. We just went with it anyway. And it was the best time. We were in the middle of the Serengeti and we drove for about 4 hours, picking out like little dots and little animals here and there. But then it was nothing. It was like you were traveling towards the end of the earth. And then you just literally turned up to this place. And you're thinking, what the hell is this? Swimming pool. You go to your room, like you've got one of the Maasai guys standing outside your room and it's on stilts and it's a brick wall and then a tented accommodation. You've got a bath on the balcony. You've got a B-day in there as well. And I'm thinking, how the hell is this in the middle of nowhere? And it was amazing.
Yet you still managed to take a piss on a cactus.
Yeah, I did.
Wow, you only do that once, didn't you? There's levels of regret, aren't there, in life? And I'm sure that's one of them.
They said, just go around there. There's no toilet. And I'm like, oh, bloody hell. So I went down, obviously got too close to the cactus, and then my mum had to pull them all out.
Oh, my God, eh?
Yeah.
Is there a life lesson there somewhere?
And then we went on this boat on this lake, and they were saying, oh, we can go and see the hippos. And I know if you go on a boat, on a hip, and this boat was like a rowing boat, you know, you could easily fall out.
Rocky type.
Oh, it was like a
Those
dinghy.
friendly hippos, those non-territorial.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of,
and we was going over this river, and I'm thinking, and I look down, I've got jacket 13, life jacket 13 on, and I'm going, oh my God.
yeah, why is there rips in this one? Yeah.
See, we're only used to.
Can we just go back?
We're only used to like the Muller hippos, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, they look friendly, dancing, synchronised, swimming with each other.
Like little real life plushy toys.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can stroke them if they don't see you coming.
Hippos are mean mofos, aren't they? So yeah,
It's like this day and age with like social media, and it's like I don't know why. No matter what you're looking at, you're only 3 clips away from someone getting mauled by an animal.
Something,
you know what I mean? Well, I am anyway. I don't know if that's the norm.
we had the chat with Hayden, didn't we, last time? And we were talking about like I'm afraid to live in Australia.
In Australia, yeah.
Letting the kids out in the garden, not know if they're going to return and all that. That's all right, mate.
He was a tree surgeon, wasn't he?
He had huntsman going over his face.
And he said, oh yeah, this huntsman just crawled over my face.
He had things biting his arse in the car, and he didn't know what they were, and he thinks they were ants. But he didn't know. He never found anything. Probably called up his arse, knowing him.
But he was sitting there going, oh my God.
I know what it's when we were flying, going back to this from New Zealand, and we just had this magical time where, you know, we were in the wilds all the time. Nothing, you know, I think the most dangerous thing there was a little bit of shale slipping off the side of the mountain, you know. And you kind of land, and we were sitting next to this guy, this chap, and he was an Aussie guy, and he spent the whole time telling you the potential of getting bitten, stung, dragged away,
shark
mauled.
bite.
Yeah. And Jackie, she's tough cooking, didn't bother her. And I think after about the 3rd hour, I think she was asking, do you mind swapping seats? This guy's done me. I'm done with it. And I thought, I don't want to listen to this.
Yeah.
But you know what? Some of the things that we see out there, it's like you could only see in Australia.
Absolutely.
Right.
Like we were driving along the Nullarbor, you know, the longest straight road on the... And we watched this... but, you know, it's like slow motion. We're driving the van. I had my feet out the van kind of thing, you know, ready to drive, you know, playing cards. Playing cards. Because it wasn't, I know it's probably not PC to do that, right? But I watched this kind of bird of prey come down, pick up like a little lizard, fly up, and then drop it back down on
just to kill it.
And you know when you're like looking at each other, we're both from this area, and like, did that just happen? Yeah. And then you started seeing that a lot.
Absolutely.
You know, kind of kangaroos bouncing off of big trucks.
Yeah.
I'm a bat lover. I love bats.
Oh God.
And where were we? Brisbane.
Yeah.
Mate, every night.
Some of the
huge
fruit bats.
things.
Yeah, massive.
Huge things. And one dropped out of the sky in front of us, didn't it? And we had to call the Steve Irwin Zoo.
They came in. Took it.
Have you been to the zoo?
Yeah, we went to the zoo. Yeah. It was good. I really liked it.
It's emotional, actually, because everyone loves Steve Irwin, didn't they?
Yeah.
It was emotional because they've made a song based on all of his interviews. Yeah. And you know when they tone it and they sort of adjust it, I can't remember. It's cool even though I've done music. You know, the toning, the thing at...
I don't know.
Auto-tune.
Auto-tune, is it? Sorry,
the tone it, you know.
You know that
tone.
Well, they've auto-tuned. He's just saying something, but it sounds like he's singing it.
Yeah.
And it was just emotional watching that, wasn't it? It's just about him singing about conservation and all that. Just all of his interviews.
Well, he was alive when we went there.
Oh,
he was there.
Was he actually there?
Yeah.
Did you see him then?
Yeah.
Like brilliant.
That famous croc, it's huge. It looks like a dinosaur.
Yep.
And it's weird because we went in the middle of the day and it wasn't that busy. You know, it was busy by standards we weren't used to seeing people.
Yeah,
it weren't that busy. And we were walking out to get something at the van, and we were walking back in, and this guy was walking out, and smallish chap, he was like pushing a pram, he was with his wife, and he had a proper like boots, cowboy boots, like an AC/DC kind of shirt on, big cigar. And I thought, he looks familiar. And it was Robert Patrick, you know, the guy that played the Liquid Terminator, the American guy.
Yes.
It was him.
Yeah.
So I was like, I've got to get a photo. Oh, mate. He's like, can you I've got a photo somewhere, but he asked me to kind of kneel down because I'm not.
Oh, what? So he looks taller.
You know, and he was like, push the pram out of the way. He was like, big cigar.
Is that
and I was like,
is this your boy? Or is that what he says when
In number 2, the liquid guy.
the liquid Terminator. Yeah, it was him. Yeah. I was.
Is he an Aussie?
No, he's American.
Yeah, I thought he was American.
Yeah, he was literally on holiday with his family, and I kind of looked and thinking, I'm pretty good with faces. And of course, I was a big movie geek.
Yeah.
You know, and
Rachel's brilliant with that.
And I would mainly, the stardom thing, I'm getting a bit embarrassed about. I wouldn't want to bother someone.
No,
even at the detriment of kind of wanting a pic. I wouldn't, you know, there's people now, it's like,
Exactly the same. So uncool.
Yeah.
Where were we the other week? Oh, we were in the Ivy in Chelsea.
Oh, you were you?
I've just dropped that in there.
You know,
Ivy
we're there every
Asia.
other day, mate. Every other day.
We were in there. It was really nice.
Don't tell me you're
food.
papping there, aren't you?
Yeah.
Ivy Asia. We was in the Ivy Asia.
Okay.
And we, I took a film of the floor because it's nice tiles on the floor. Sent it to Ellis Rose, who's been on the podcast. He's
Right.
the Tyler on the podcast.
Yeah.
He told me where I was, and he told me the menu.
Yeah. He went, oh, have this. This is really... And we were like, what, just from one tile on the floor?
All I did was film the floor in the Ivy Asia.
But we had dinner there, didn't we? And we were going out to get our coats. And I came out, my mum and dad, my mum and dad and my daughter are out there. And I've come out and this woman's sort of taking her jacket off and put it... And I went, I know that woman. Why do I know that woman? My mum looked over and went, it's
Shirley. Pepsi and Shirley.
Pepsi and Shirley.
No way.
I was like, oh, I knew she was
No
famous.
way.
But then again, like you said, you don't want to go, can I just have a picture?
Yeah, I know. And it's kind of, it'd be really cool. I mean, I've not seen many, but when we started our trip and we was in LA, Jackie wanted to go to, is it the Pretty Woman, the Grand Beverly Wilshire?
Yeah. We
wanted
did
to just
that.
go to the front of it. And walking up there, we see, and I did get my geek on because I see, he's a famous director. He's done like the Lost Boys, Batman. Joel, no. Oh, it's embarrassing. I can't think of his name now. He directed the Lost Boys.
Love the Lost Boys.
Yeah, he directed one of the Batman movies that tanked, one of the awful later ones. Can't think of his name now. Always wore the same stuff. And he was walking along the road with a guy, and he was obviously reading a script, and I couldn't get my words out.
Oh, wow.
And literally, as I've said that, I know, so who's Michael Flatley, Lord of the Dance?
Oh, yeah.
He's coming the other way, wearing double denim, cowboy boots. And I was like, well, you're not cool enough for me to want to, you know. I was admiring. I mean, he had the beautiful mullet kind of, you know, it looked like, you know, there was hours spent on him kind of wearing what he wore, you know.
We've been on the same flight as Kirk.
William
Captain
Shatner.
Kirk.
Have you?
Yeah.
He was in front of us because we were queuing up for
We're queuing up for
control.
customs.
Yeah,
passport control. And he's in the queue
He's
as
in
well.
front of us.
And they're like, we're in America. Why is he queuing up? I said, he's Canadian.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, he's not. I said, he's Canadian.
didn't know that.
Google.
Shatner's
and,
Canadian, yeah. I knew that.
So he had to stand with us.
All the decent ones are Canadian. Reynolds, the Michael J. Fox.
It's the one place, you know, talk about other places to live. I always had, I wanted to go to Vancouver because Whistler's kind of quite high up on my, you know, kind of winter and summer playground kind of place.
I think I've done Whistler. I've done Banff.
mean
I've
you
done
think you've
Sunshine.
done-
Sunshine, yeah.
I think it's either Whistler or Jasper I haven't done. Is Jasper there as well? Or is Jasper in Colorado?
No, yeah, Jasper's way out.
Colorado.
Yeah.
Right. So
Jasper's stunning though.
I think I've done Whistler. I haven't
Great
done
for snow.
Jasper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Long time ago. 1999, 98, something like that.
Really? Well, I was, tenuous link, right? Kind of like, when was I out there? I can actually tell you when we were traveling because we were going to be in Thailand, in the Phi Phi Islands, diving for Christmas.
As you do.
Well, it was kind of where we were because we'd done Australia at that point. And we ended up, like, Jackie's parents come to meet us. So we thought we're going to go to Sydney for New Year, see that. And a few friends were flying out. So we changed our plans. And then the tsunami hit, didn't it?
Oh,
It was
right.
that year.
God.
Yeah, the tsunami. So it kind of completely changed our plans.
Yeah.
So we did go to Thailand after the tsunami hit. But
blimey.
we was on the kind of west coast, and then we done the islands like Koh Samui, Koh Phangan, where they have the full moon party and all that kind of stuff. But it was
Take them away from me, Paul. I've spent an hour and a half.
I'm impressive.
Eating.
You know what? I've had one of those and one of those.
I haven't stopped eating.
I daren't eat any of those. I won't be able to talk for 4 minutes while I try and digest it.
Hour and a half I've been eating that crap for.
I'm
I
impressed,
think
mate.
I probably had about 3.
I haven't stopped.
I ain't gonna lie. If we weren't on film or we weren't talking, they wouldn't last that long.
Savoury sweet. Look at me. Everyone's been thinking he hasn't stopped. They're watching that because I haven't stopped eating.
Have you had dinner?
I had a McDonald's. I had a McDonald's last night
You
as
need to speak to a chap called John Carlo that does
God.
PT.
I think you need to speak to Hayden as well.
Yeah, exactly,
Get some
yeah.
mind coaching.
I'm doing all
Yeah.
right. I've been doing all right in the gym, and then it just all goes tits up. I'll be back. I'll
Consistency
be
is
back.
the key.
That's
innit?
the thing.
You
And
can't,
you're a fitness coach as well, so you know the score.
you can't train. You can get fitter, but you can't. You know what you eat and drink dictates kind of what you.
Everything.
Absolutely.
Oh,
you
for
want
sure.
abs, it's what you eat.
Oh, for sure.
It's
We've
not
all
about,
got them.
It's not
They're
about
just hidden.
sit-ups.
Yeah,
They're just
yeah.
hidden
You know,
abs.
I've
That's
got a
all
lot
they
of
are.
history in front of my abs.
Exactly.
A lot of storage, you know.
Exactly. Some of my oldest fat is in front of me, abs. Stuff I haven't got rid of in years.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's easy.
Nice.
I say it's easy. It's a mindset. You decide.
Did you used to have abs when you was fit?
Yeah. I was all on. I've got an all on. Yeah, it's gone. All on nothing personality.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to do something, I'm in
do it.
100 mile an hour.
Yeah.
It'll be eat super clean.
You have to give me diet tips.
There's nothing. There'll be a few people. It's not revolutionary, right? Is that as long as you burn more than you put in, you're going to lose weight. All of these fads, stay away from the fads. It's about lifestyle changes,
Yeah.
right?
But it's not. You shouldn't say I'm on a diet.
No, God, no.
No, it's gotta be a change of
You
life.
say
Absolutely.
I'm on a diet, therefore I need this, and this. But
Well,
it's crap.
diets are temporary
Yeah.
and always have been.
It's a lifestyle change.
I've always
You have
found
to
low
have-
carb pretty good.
Yeah, you're
but
really good on low
it's
carb.
maintaining
As we get
low
older
carb.
as well, it's kind of like it's being honest as well. We're not, we're getting older, but it's a key thing. Like I've always had, if I'm training or I go to train,
No, you're all right.
am I spitting on it?
No, you're fine. It's
I'm not rocking
It's
up.
just I just hate things that don't line up perfectly, and that.
Oh,
filter
yeah,
wasn't
it's
lining
slightly-
up perfectly on
So I've
the-
been talking
Shall I just
slightly.
do this now?
There
Just
you go.
Just
No,
to
don't
mess with
worry.
it.
Don't worry. Well, mine's gone now. Look,
I've been hiding my tick. He's been hiding the tick well all night.
They're going, "Ooh."
yeah. I am.
I haven't sworn at anyone for today. That's good for me, isn't it?
I know.
Well, you did last night in McDonald's.
In Mike's. I didn't swear at anyone. We didn't have a row with them in McDonald's. It's just
He was
they
one of
stop the
those-
chairs at 11 o'clock, but McDonald's shuts at 12.
He
We
was
used
one
the
of those
screen. We used the
people.
screen, and it said, "Do you want to eat in or eat out?" We said, "Eat in." And then he went, "Excuse me, this is all shut." I said, "We opted to eat in." He said, "But yeah, this is all barriered off. But then don't give us the option to eat in."
Yeah, I say.
I said, "What time's it shut?" He said, 12 o'clock. He said, "But the seating area shuts at 11." And we went, "Where does it say that? Where does it say
Can
it
we
shuts
see
at
your
11?"
policy?
We asked, and he said, "Well, we don't have that." I said, "But then there's
I ain't
nothing
gonna
I can
lie.
do."
It's like your system. You
Yeah.
need to integrate a little bit better.
Basically, what you wanted to do is clear up early so you can get out early, mate,
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
you?
Yeah,
And then
exactly,
he said, "Okay, sit there then, sit there then."
And then other people came in and started sitting there as well.
I wasn't being an arse. It's just
It's quite novel, right? The kind of like being able to sit down and like someone bring your food at McDonald's, because I thought I'd never see that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Not many people know you can do that.
No, it's right. No, it's like those little.
Not many people pick that number up on the side.
I've actually just admitted that I've been in McDonald's. I've sat down
Yeah, you're giving us health tips, and then you just
in the last week as well,
mate. I've done 2 in 2 days.
Well, that's
It's Christmas. What can I say?
Do you know what? It's Christmas. You enjoy what you want to do.
Yeah.
Do what you want
But
to
this
do.
is coming out
think-
early March, so no, it's not. This is coming out early February.
I will
Yeah.
be a different man then.
Yeah, but yeah. So just so you know, even though it's early February, it is Christmas time, and God, we're going to be so fit by February. Aren't we?
But I think
No?
that if you...
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks, mate.
I'm just going to
You just go, yeah, that's it, mate. Just talk straight over it. It's fine.
But I think if you're saying to yourself, oh, I can't eat this, I can't eat that, automatically you'll start craving it. So just have it. Just have it. Get that craving out the way, and then you'll stop craving it straight away, right?
Best thing I ever done was not deny yourself anything. You're right.
Absolutely.
The word diet, I get annoyed when
Got
I
knocked
I'm
down,
on a
yes.
diet. No,
You're not. 'Cause
you'll
you'll
go
fail
back and you'll add it back on. You'll add
Yeah.
more on, and
Just got to change your way.
yeah. And for me, it was like, well, okay, why am I doing it? And for me, I've always need quite goal driven. So it's like, right, okay, I've got to book an event for 6 months' time or whenever, and it gives me a reason to train. And if I train, I eat clean as well, because your body's fueled. And yeah, I've been from, I don't know, a little, I don't know how to explain it. I've looked like in the same year, I wouldn't go as far as say Big Daddy because that's a bit extreme, but I've looked like Shaggy out Scooby Doo by the end of the year.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget my mum said to Jackie once, she's like, has he got that disease? Never heard this. Like, what disease? You know, the one that you get, you know,
Too many Scooby snacks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And my mum thought I'd had AIDS. You know, that, you know, as all mums do. Like, I've lost a bit of weight. I admit I lost about 6 stone. And
is he all right? Is he?
Yeah, I went full. I think I've mentioned Forrest Gump a few times, but I did go full Gump. I'd run every single day, big beard, and I was happy in the woods, running at night with head torch on, and it was quite liberating. But
it's just about what works for you because you, like I said, you can do carb free like that, can't you? You're so good at carb diets, whereas I can't do that.
No.
I couldn't do that.
I need a real balance.
Yeah.
So I
Live on pork scratchings, mate.
Ask him what calendar he's got.
Pork scratching calendar I've got.
Is that a thing?
Calendar, yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Mate, and it's the biggest con ever. I don't know what she paid for it, but you get like 2 pork scratchings every day.
Are they different types of pork scratching?
Maple. It's
Hang
so
on.
nice.
You've got 20. Is it 25?
24.
Let's not exaggerate.
I'm not a traditionalist. Yeah.
You know, I was hoping a full pack at Christmas Day, but they're not even getting that.
I didn't realise there wasn't that amount of varieties of pork scratching.
So it's salt and vinegar, pepper, salt and pepper.
Here we go.
Maple. Barbecue. Was there a chili one?
Got to be a chili one, isn't there?
There might have been a Christmas dinner style one or something, but the best ones are maple and
Salt and vinegar.
salt and vinegar was all right.
But last year,
Barbecue.
he had a cheese calendar last year, all different cheeses.
Oh, that was good.
Because he keeps saying to me, "Oh, you know, I'm carb free now, carb free."
I am looking at them. Yeah. I can't quite.
Cheese, meats, and biscuits.
I'm too obese to reach them now.
That's what it is now. Yeah. Never stop reaching. There's a life goal. You should always strive to reach further. Yeah.
Now, have we once again drifted off?
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
I don't know where we were from though.
So
doesn't really matter. So you would say New Zealand was the place
for me personally.
Yeah.
I mean, there's everywhere I've been has had nuggets of beauty and places I would like to go back.
Yeah.
But New Zealand as a country, as soon as I got there to the moment I left, I loved it. I loved, everything about it.
So I know it's been a while, but have you got any tips for people that are considering doing exactly what you did? Anything you would
Don't
change?
go for 2 weeks.
Anything you would change?
What, when I was out there?
Any plans you made or something that you think, actually, we've not quite done that right. We could have done it this way in hindsight.
Well, the beauty I had was time. So, you know, for us, the journey was part of the fun because, you know, it's not like, right, you know, go on holiday for 2 weeks. It's all about getting there and relaxing.
Can I ask what you budgeted yourself? What did you have in the bank to last yourself?
Yeah, you can actually.
Are you going to answer it though?
Yeah. If I remember because we sold our house and we done, if I say just the year, but including everything, the tickets, everything.
So you was away for a whole year?
Yeah, just over. I know for a fact we done less than 28 grand.
Wow.
But that was everything. That was
accommodation.
Buying
cars,
vehicles. I mean, the only good thing is most of the things I bought, I sold. So it wasn't like
money back. Yeah.
You can
what a lot
spend,
of
if you
people
went
do
there
is-
now, you could spend 5 grand on hiring a camper.
Oh,
for a night.
yes, yeah.
Easy. It's totally different now. But, what was I going to say? So did you not do any work while you were there or anything?
I couldn't. I was at that age where I didn't have a working visa.
Ah, right.
So I was kind of. But
so would you have to be under a certain age then?
it might have changed now, but then I think it was you had to be under 30
Oh, right.
to
Okay.
potentially get a 6-month working. I mean, I had to still get a visa because we were going there for a period of time. So it wasn't like the rules have changed. So you can go there for X amount of weeks without needing a visa, I believe. But again, whole EU, that's probably changed. So don't believe
It's
everything I
in
say.
like America, it's only 90 days, isn't it now?
Yeah.
So you can only stay in America for 90 days. You can come and go as you please,
Yeah.
and then the 90 days.
There's a lot of
restart,
countries still
I
like that
believe.
now, where you can come out of the country,
Yeah,
go
and
back
go
in
back
as long as you
in,
get the
yeah.
stamps, so your passport's correct.
I was the apprentice of someone, and he was born in 57. I don't know why. I always remember how old he is. So what's that make him now? If he was born in 57, it makes him nearly like 66 or something.
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
it?
Well, yeah. I mean, 57.
Make him 66.
Well, 2007's 50. There's
Makes him 66.
Yeah.
And he has backpacked with his wife every year I've known him.
Wow.
What a life, eh? No kids, but backpacked.
Yeah, do you know
Worked
what?
a bit and then gone.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's for everyone, but I mean, because like as I've got older, where I live now and my home, it's almost like your safe space. You know, your castle. You can come home, and I did it when I did. You know, I'd kind of done a lot of travelling up until a few years ago. You know, before lockdown, and you know, we still, you know, like a lot of people, wanted to go somewhere new every year.
Yeah.
And like we got married abroad because I never wanted to do that.
Where'd you get married?
Mexico.
Oh, lovely.
Nice.
Just
Player car, you got married, didn't you? You got married in Cozumel.
No, we went diving in Cozumel.
Well, because I was the only one that knew where you were diving.
Exactly. Yeah, we got the old pictures that we put up. Yeah, but I mean, at that point, like we said, we'd never get married. And I think I got to a certain age, and a lot of people around us are getting married, having kids, and I was like, do you know a lot of this come about, right? Because I've always called Jackie Jack.
Right.
And I'd be like, you know, I was traveling a bit like with working out, and I'd talk about my partner Jack, and I'd always have to the caveat, my girlfriend. You know, you get to a certain age where you're like, I can't call her my girlfriend anymore. I'm kind of an older man now. And I remember that being one of the things. I'm sick and tired of calling my partner, and I don't call her Jackie. I haven't called her Jackie. Well, maybe for the first few months.
I've got an Auntie Jack.
Yeah.
And
I don't want to make that sound completely unromantic, and it wasn't the drive. We got to get married because you know people think I'm gay.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, and it was really weird. It like happened over. I think I want to get married, but you know, I'm not having this conversation with her. And her younger sister Nikki, who like we've known each other forever, and I remember saying, I think I'm going to ask Jackie to marry me. What do you think? She was like, giving me, oh my God, that's all she was thinking, like party.
Yeah.
You know, because I always said we'd get married somewhere else. And we, and it kind of happened. She helped me. I couldn't find out a ring size. So she helped me kind of, I'll get her to wear one of my rings because I'm going to go in the gym, get to put this ring on. We'll work out what size she is. She come with me to get a ring. And then I thought, right, okay, we're going to go to Mexico. We'd been there before traveling. I loved it. But we booked this really swanky adults only place. And it was the kind of places I never wanted to go.
Yeah.
But everything was there. They had 10 different restaurants. They were all top notch. She got dressed up.
Yeah.
And I booked, before I even went there, I booked this pier. And I had a cello player. I thought, if anybody knows me, I know that is so not what I do. And I thought, I'm going the whole fucking hog. I'm doing it like, you know, like a movie.
She had no idea.
No idea. And I planned all this, and we got there, and I was having nightmares before we went, thinking I was going to drop this ring in the sand. You know, because we, you know, like most couples, we had a joint account, so I couldn't go and buy it on the account. So I was working and getting a bit of cash in. And then I booked this night, and literally we had 2 private waiters on this pier, cello player on the other one. And we'd been drinking. I said, I've got to go and change up some money, sweet. I'll go upstairs and come back. And I'd been gone ages. And she was sitting in this martini bar. Oh, God. Anyway, come back down. And like I said, she seen me coming down these big marble stairs with this guy. Oh, God, he's had an argument again.
Yeah.
He's complained about something. And he walks down and said, this guy's sorting us out an apology meal. I don't even know why I said that. Oh, what's happened? Anyway, walks us all the way around this side, comes us back, and it's all tea light lined. And there's a guy waiting there with 2 glasses of champagne. And I said, I booked a meal for us. She went, I really need a piss. and it broke the ice. So I straight went, right, okay, I'm going to have a great night.
Yeah.
It's just us. No one matters. And like I walked her back to the toilet. So we went back and we had the champagne and we had a great night. And by the time I got on one knee to ask her to marry me, she was that drunk, she couldn't even focus on the ring. What's happening down there? You all right? Anyway, she said, and here we are 10 years.
See, we've never actually met her. He never takes her out. She's like a pilot light. She never goes out.
No, do you know what? And
I reckon he's actually murdered her and she's in the back bottom of the garden.
Do you know what? It was like she said about, she's just started because she changed careers. And that's right. Yeah. That's another podcast. I will cut there. And I said about like, we very rarely, we do everything together. And it was just really bizarre that these few things we've done, it's like she's job, work. And so I said like over Christmas, because this is the first year since we've been together for 30 years, we've both got Christmas off together.
Wow.
She's always worked in, like I did in the fitness retail.
Yeah.
So it's like Christmas Day, and then that was it.
Yeah.
You're back on it. So because she worked, I work. So yeah, we're looking forward to having a few drinks, and that's something I'm going to have to give up slightly in the new year. So I'm going to cane it for the next week.
Detox completely.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
January.
Retox for the last week of December, and then really go for it, and hopefully I'll get back a little bit of former glory.
Well, I've
Brilliant.
got a personal question. Have you ever been to like South America, done that sort of area?
It's no, I've never traveled. I really want to do go from Chile, come up, and we haven't done that. I've only done Mexico, and I loved it. But the people were fantastic. But I'd love to come up through Patagonia, Chile. I'd like to do it on a motorbike as well.
Nice.
Yeah, that is on my. I think I could still do that physically at the moment, but clock's ticking, so I'm going to do it in the next 5 years. Is that somewhere you've been then?
No, next year I'm doing the Inca Trail.
Oh, it's on my list.
Doing it for charity.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, we wanted to add that into our travelling, but we just, from a financial logistics point of view, it was such a big difference. But the Inca Trail's right up there for me. Machu Picchu, I want to walk it all the way in, whereas Jackie said, I'm getting the train.
Yeah.
So we still have differences.
So on ours, we walk in and then you can get the train back down.
Yeah, which is fair enough. I think, you don't really, if you're walking in, you really don't need to walk out. That is, make sure your boots are broken in before you even start.
Oh, yeah, I've got a list of equipment.
Stunning.
I think the Sherpas, they're only allowed to carry 6 kilos.
Yeah. I've realised how I can make him twitch a bit. You just start talking
Just
away.
too
If she's too far away, then there's
Come
an
back
echo,
in.
and she just.
I'm really sorry.
But I can't blame you both because you've not got headphones on. You've not experienced what I'm experiencing.
Is it really bad?
It's not that bad, but you should like over here.
is it really bad?
And when you're over here, then it starts echoing. You've got to be around here.
Professional.
Okay,
And it's good of me to give you that tip an hour and a half in.
Is it going to have one of those little labels on the bottom, like the the audio, do not adjust audio?
Yeah. Well, we've got Damien in next.
You'll definitely need to move away a little bit, because there is no way you could sit this close and physically.
We might have to have
But
subtitles.
imagine the old YouTube trying to do the auto subtitles on him.
That would be. There'd be all sorts of caveats there, wouldn't there, for apologies and people think they got product placements and he's just talking about family. It'd be interesting, wouldn't it? It'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
He's going to bring a load of kit in.
No, I don't. Because every time he brings kit in, it looks like a QVC advert, doesn't it?
I'll be honest with you. I say, look, we're going to give you exposure, but clean the windows. It's a lovely
Do you know
display
what?
we got down there.
He cleans the calf and he looks at the studio door and he goes, I'll clean that for him. He does that every now and then. He does it every now and then. He cleans the studio door. So that's why I don't pay him, because I know he'll do it anyway.
That's called friendship, that is, isn't it? Abuse of friendship.
Abuse
Is that what it is?
Definitely, yeah.
That's crazy, isn't it? But
I'll give him free advertisement. He'll be here.
So yeah, Machu Picchu, definitely on my list. Places still. The great thing about travelling is that there's always going to be places to go.
Absolutely.
Everest for me.
Really?
Yeah, I want to walk into base camp, and that was on. We were going to do that, and of course, because of the tsunami, I'm kind of going back now. I'm doing a Billy Connolly when you go back to that story. The bit of money we had left, we ended up giving away because we were getting served by people that had lost their entire families.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what a high note to leave it on, isn't
Well
it?
done, it's perfect. But Gray IT, remember you work for them? You work for them?
Okay, so
Where do you see Gray IT in the next 5 years? Under 1,000 words.
All joking aside, right? I kind of treat it like it's my business as well. And Graham's a close friend of mine, and he's the it's his baby. But I kind of treat it like, because it's a small company, we all have a vested interest in doing well. Hence why I'm in BNI networking and promoting Gray IT as best I can.
And he must value your opinion on stuff as well, right? He must.
Yeah, I come at it from probably a different place, because I don't have the knowledge he does. But kind of customer service and kind of building relationships is something that I've always done in any job I've had. It didn't matter if I was on the mountain or in a gym, in a sales office. And that's the kind of thing that has always stood me in good stead, that being honest with people and actually just working hard and having a laugh. We do a bit like what you're saying. We have a laugh at work. You kind of work hard, you play hard, and it tends to. I
Absolutely.
like that balance of
There's gotta
kind
be a
of
balance.
like, yeah. And the guy that I work with, I won't name him, but if it's not Graham, it's the other one. He's got a sick and twisted sense of humour, and it kind of keeps me going. You know, that kind of stuff you couldn't send to anyone else.
Yeah.
They get right.
It's pushing boundaries, and you might slightly get arrested, maybe.
Yeah. So we want, I mean, for me personally, I want a big fancy car. I want that sharp suit with that little BNI badge and, top table, slightly better haircut. Because I didn't really prepare for today. I just couldn't get into the barbers. I wanted to come really sharp
I got my
suited.
haircut today.
Yeah.
I know. Well, Graham did his. I thought maybe you should have come in. Right?
Oh, we wanted
he
it to
look
be interesting, Paul. Sorry,
don't-
Graham, only joking, mate.
Please don't cut it out.
Hopefully you're all right. Only a joke, Gray. Only a joke.
But no, I mean, for me, it's like I'm going to carry on like floating like that leaf in the wind. You know what I mean? It's like I kind of want to be doing this. I know Graham's in it for the long haul, and I join knowing that I could be in it for the long haul as well. So for me, it's kind of like that, allowing it for me to get back into doing the things I love, like traveling more and just.
But if you must like it though, so
Yeah, do you know what? It's
good.
I've worked for big companies where no matter how hard you work,
you don't get appreciated.
no,
you don't
and
get-
also when they're taken over by private consortiums and their investors want their money back out of it, it's like good people go.
Yeah.
Because no matter how hard you work, you're a statistic, and that's the one thing that I don't miss. You're close to the trench lines when you work for a small company. That can be a negative for some people, but for me, it's a big positive because you can directly influence that kind of moving forward. And for me, that's the key thing. Especially like Graham, I've known him for years, and if it wasn't for I wouldn't be in IT.
Yeah.
Because I didn't come into it with any knowledge, but he knew me as a person, so that was the reason I was in there. And I'll let you into a little secret. It's really easy.
You just turn it on and off again.
28 years. I could say 28 years now. It means nothing, but no, it's it's great. So
Good.
if we carry on doing the way we're doing, it's going to be like
Right.
sharp suits and cars for the rest of us as well.
So apart from your Wish You Were Here website for your travelling, what's the Gray IT information?
Who are we? Where are we?
Yeah,
What are we
how do we
doing?
find you? Website.
Yeah, grayit.co.uk. It tells you everything about us. We're based up at the Innovation in Rochester by Rochester Airport. We look after that building. They're going to be building another one. So if someone wants really good office space,
Lovely building up there.
keep an eye on it. We look after that. And if you need anything, it doesn't matter if Beryl and her printer. They'll always ring us. If you need someone, more importantly, to look at your IT kit, because we do free audits, which is a bit of a godsend for most people. There's a lot of small businesses that kind of organically grow and their IT is just a mismatch of whatever they've got. We can come in, look at all of the kit, really advise on kind of not so much what you have got, but more importantly, what you haven't. So it's more about security now, making sure if you've got information that it's backed up securely, is it backed up locally, is it backed up on the cloud? I felt myself leaning away.
Two-step, whatever you call it.
Two-factor authentication.
It runs that into me all the time.
All the time. You know what? I'm seeing, all joking aside, more and more with the way the world's going, cybercrime has become, and I don't want to scaremonger, but in my little bit of experience I've had, how damaging it can be. People work, these businesses, they put everything into it. They give their password to someone else inadvertently, very, very clever ways of doing it that I won't go into now. And all of a sudden, this person's got their account details, all their information, and it can be devastating. And I've seen people break down and cry over the realisation that they've just lost X amount of money that they've worked so hard to get. And a lot of it is based down to just, it ain't about spending loads of money. It's just about awareness of having certain things turned on that you're paying for.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we come at it, and that's kind of where we want to grow the business, because we've seen people go from bit blasé, yes, right, never happened to us, to potentially almost losing a business that they've had.
Oh, we've had it when I used to work in the NHS in like a doctor's surgery. There was at one point where someone had hacked into one of our systems. And we couldn't get information. We couldn't get who's, the list of people coming in. Everything just went. Yeah. And you couldn't physically do the job, because how could you see a patient and not know their history, anything like that? So literally we were stuck just because someone got into the system,
right?
hacks the system.
And it's only going to get more
Absolutely. Yeah,
more
it's
out
going to
there.
get worse.
So for us, it is very much that advising on. So that's kind of the part of the business that, unfortunately or fortunately, is a growth part of the business for us, and it's more about stopping people, kind of losing.
Educating them.
Yeah, and a lot of it isn't about spending loads and loads of money. It's about kind of putting a few things in place that they've probably already got. So that's kind of where we're going with that. Long may it continue. The end.
Nice one, mate.
The end.
Thanks for coming along.
I've had a great time, thanks.
Have ya?
I'm dry-lipped. I don't think I've ever
Don't
spoken
shut
about
up.
it. I'm going to go home and dig out my old kind of travel diary now and have a look and say, did I do half the things I've actually spoken about?
I'm going to have to, mop my ears. They're bleeding.
And the floor.
No, but we knew
me,
if we had
me in
you
stereo.
You were like, what am I going to talk about, Si? And I'm like, mate, you've travelled the world. We ain't going to have trouble with you. And you've broke the record. You're the longest podcast so far, nearly 2 hours. So.
Gold star.
I'm going to take that as, we talked about you can look at negatives and positive. It's a massive positive.
You're a double record holder because that has only ever dropped off the wall once in every other podcast. You've had it fall off twice.
Wow. What can I say?
You had it fall off. First beer to spill everywhere.
That's right. I'd like to say some of these weren't my thing.
First food that I've eaten all of.
I know. To be honest, I'd suggest that you don't do this every
Mate,
time
I'll be
because
obese.
come January, we'll be rolling you.
We sit like that.
Exactly. Rachel will be going, who are you again?
It'll be like,
where is it?
it's like Jabba the Hutt's got a podcast. Yeah. She'll be washing my folds and everything.
No, I think their divorce would come before that.
Well, thanks for that, babe. So it's just on my looks that you're with me, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
You are quite charming.
Oh, thanks.
And I don't say that to many blokes, actually.
I think I've pulled.
All right, I'm going to go. I'll leave you two.
I know. Something about someone that's charming and smells nice. I know I've matured. Like,
Do I smell nice?
No, he smells of beer.
Yeah, no, I say there's a guy that go. This is going to be. Well, do we finish on this part?
You can
Someone
finish
that
on it.
is up the innovation centre, the men's toilets. I quite often see him in there. Really nice guy, kind of our age. I've never thought this before. He smells really nice. As I'm at a urinal and thinking, it's important that there's an inwardly thought that I've never said. I really want to go up to him, but it's never. Hello, mate. How are you? Like most blokes do. You can chat at a urinal.
What's his name?
I'm not telling you. Hello, mate. Hello, mate. How are you today? But I get to the point where I'm thinking, is that it can be one of two smells because I do like a nice smell, and he smells lovely. And I think I've said too much.
Well, when you think about it, men try and be manly and all that. Manly. They try and be manly, but they're attracted to the women's perfumes of the flowery, sort of sweet, flowery stuff. It's the women that are manly because they're the ones.
Manly again.
Manly. Sorry, what?
It's a new Menly, the new
only had 2
eau de
beers.
parfum. Yeah,
Essence of bloke. But the women are the manly one. Have I said it wrong?
you have manly.
The women are the manly people because they're the ones into the old Davidoff, cool water,
Yeah.
and the hard nutty sort of smells. Where the bleeding?
Hard.
Where the
What's that? Have I quantum leaped into some other kind of virtual reality
mate,
podcast?
Mate, I'm
Nutty
so
smells,
limited to vocabulary.
Talking to blokes at the urinals.
I'm the wrong person to be
Menly
doing
smell. It will
Menly.
always be menly smells now.
Mate, I'm the wrong person to be doing a podcast. I've got such a limited the cat sat on the mat vocabulary. It's unbelievable.
Mate, it's got you this far. Don't change now.
I'll give up now, mate. 50 next year. What's the point? I'm down the hill next year.
50 next year.
Next year. Why, did you think I was already 50?
No.
You did?
No. I just hope I get invited to the party because I thought you'd already had it.
Yeah, but obviously we can't invite your missus because you murdered her weeks ago.
No. She'll bring a boa. Was it the big champagne, the big ones?
Oh, the Magnums.
Magnums. You know, like only
Magnum.
motor racing drivers have. That's that kind of thing.
Perfect.
Bring one of
You
those.
can do that again, what you did on the floor with that.
With the hand action.
I was going to
there,
say, yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
That will always get it going everywhere, won't it? Let's have it. Let's have it right. Yeah. I'm just gutted. I'm just pleased that no electronics were ruined in this.
That's all right.
In this podcast,
Yeah,
really.
but like you said, that's his baby. So he was like, I've got to save
That's the only way we're going to get you off the podcast anyway if it damages it.
End.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Love you
Thank
as
you.
always.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye. Bye, everyone.